Give it a few seconds before I start.
Excuse me while I write kobolds into the chat.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, welcome to another fabulous week of low initiatives. Dragons, Death, and Destiny. We're just gonna get right into it this evening. So last week when we last saw the Onyx Circle, you guys had tracked down the source of Nat's curse. You guys had found that it was a demon that basically took over Low Ire's life at a certain time, and basically through, trickery, illusion, charm magic, and, seriously insidious plotting, he basically created a bond with Nat, and then, over time got her kind of latched, cursed her, and then left, slowly feeding off of her, that whole time. You guys assume. And, a lot of shitty revelations. The demon kind of taunted you guys throughout the entire encounter, like dropping little bits of information here and there. You guys aren't 100% sure what was true or wasn't true, apart from a few things that you guys were able to confirm towards the end. But before that, you guys engaged in a nasty, nasty fight with the said demon. Kind of twisting your guys' perception of the world, bringing forth things that kind of didn't make sense and was kind of twisted versions of nice things. And he seemed to be able to warp kind of almost everything around you guys. Very powerful, but you guys were able to overcome the challenge, and with the assistance of Jacques and Sin setting up kind of an ambush, which they were able to do because you guys fended off all the demons' attacks, monsters, and all the other crazy shit he sent and tried to do to you guys. You guys were able to stop him, take him down, get control over him, and that's when you guys were able to convince him to release his bond overnight. And you guys tried to fish for information, but wasn't going too great. And eventually he wanted a deal to escape, which Reyna was considering offering him, but Shock was not having any of that, and he made the call to kill the demon for Nat's sake, just because, all the shit that he had done. And Jacques did not believe that the demon would hold up his end of the bargain, because at the end of the fight, you guys realized that while he was staying in an oasis, he had corrupted and charmed a lot of people in town and had gained control over them kind of in the upper district. And he kind of held all those people hostage against you guys. Forgot to mention that, sorry. But you guys dealt with it. The Royal Guard and the Guard of an oasis came to the area because when you guys killed the demon, he followed through with this threat and killed a lot of people in those districts, and people who were unaware of what was going on due to illusions and stuff came to the realization of, like, oh shit, this just happened, seeing all these murdered people in the streets. It was really chaotic, but luckily, they were able to get a good grasp of the situation because of the information you guys gained and because of the, obvious nature of what just happened. You guys were able to provide them, a corpse of a demon, and it was pretty clear what had happened. Plus, they found someone who was able to corroborate, some of the situation and, things that were going on. But you guys grabbed Nat, who was in a state of utter kind of shock. Sin kind of drugged her, and you guys took her back to Dick. Hello?
There he is. He's back.
Sorry
Okay.
about that. Sorry.
Wait, did I drop or did someone else drop?
No, that was
Someone else said.
It was me. I accidentally closed Discord.
Okay, because I was looking at my Discord and it was going crazy for a second.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I dropped.
I was closing things for memory for my computer, so it doesn't crash.
No
So
worries.
to avoid that,
Okay, no worries.
Right.
Completely lost my place. Yeah, so you guys, got Nat back, and you guys were gathering at Dix's. Some of you guys had taken Nat back. Raina and a few others stayed back to handle the guards, update them, but eventually you guys all made it back to Dix, where Nat was laid down in the room, and you guys were just beginning to discuss everything.
Oh, by the way, just one thing you kind of forgot. Rhea learned the truth behind Nat's children by speaking dead with
Oh yes,
the
sorry.
preacher.
I brought it up and I completely forgot to circle around back to it. Thank you. Yes. You guys were able to tell using speak with dead that the incubus, because it kept teasing about Nat's family and children being his, and you guys were able to find with speak with dead that the children of Nat were not actually her children, but part of the whole ploy to get Nat kind of bound and connected to the demon. It was all about, increasing that bond between the two. And that those demons that were assisting him probably had attacked and killed her entire village by now. So we are starting with, I believe, was it Ruria who was about ready to speak?
Yeah, we're basically
Yeah.
in the room, and Rhea's about to speak.
She just came back up to kind of catch you guys up. You guys were sitting by Nat's side as the groups come together. Jacques comes in as well. So take it away, Ruria.
Yeah.
Yay.
Also, just for current reference, because I forgot, Nat's currently asleep at this moment, correct?
Yes, Sin dusted her.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah. And I was going to say, is like, you guys will see that my mask is off.
Mhm.
It's been like, I'm trying to think of my word. She's obviously sad, but she's trying to remain like professional about it all and not bursting into tears type of thing.
So, like
Like-
solemn, kind of.
Like your eyes are
Yeah.
twitching like they're getting ready to cry, but you're fighting it back and you're like keeping that straight face. You're like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sort of stuff. Yeah, just do like. Yeah. I'm trying to say now.
Yeah, you just walked up to the room and Sin and Demosaries are just both staring at you like, or sorry, not Sin and Demosaries. Demosaries is staring at you like, okay.
Oh, what did you find out, Rhea? Conrad says.
Sin sighs deeply. He just goes, looks up at you, Ruria, shrugs his shoulders, walks in the room, and just plops down on his butt, like just a serious kind of defeated look.
I was just gonna look towards Nat, be like, this is something I'd rather discuss with Nat first.
Okay.
This is the two of hers. If she wishes to discuss it after, that's her reasoning. No. All I say now is that the immediate torment of that demon's done. Now it's just Nat's fight. The demon with a mind.
Sin kind of looks up at you, Ruria, and he's like, no, you might as well tell them the rest of it, because this is, this was our situation to deal with, and, we need to be able to, they need to prepare for handling her when this is all said and done.
So she's not gonna wake up anytime soon.
We probably have an hour or two before she'll be able to wake up.
Just like get her fingers and like pressing them together, like twiddling them back.
And he crosses his arms. He was like, actually, she, with how she's been doing, she might actually sleep through the night.
Suppose that
And-
does make things easier.
And Sin raises his eyebrow and he's like, actually, I got a better way that she can pay me back. And he stands up and he walks over to Nat and he's like, speaking of being tired, and he rummages through her stuff and he grabs one of the bottles that Juan and Delphine gave her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, it seemed like it had quite a kick. And he just uncorks it and throws back the bottle. And his eyes just go wide, and he kind of shakes his head, like almost like you took a really strong shot or something like that. And he's just like, "Whoa!" And his eyes are just like awake, and he's like just blinking his eyes, like staring at you guys. He's like, "That has some fucking zip."
Oh. Okay, Cameron kind of looks a little bit
And
perplexed why he did that.
And he looks at the last bottle that Nat has, and he sits down and he begins to identify it.
He's good here. Really do like a deep, sad eye. Be like, we don't have to worry about our children.
Is just going to say, he's going to look down and then he's looking at Ruya. Are they dead?
Worse than
They-
dead?
Ooh,
Never
way
imagined.
worse.
Yeah, they never existed in the first place. As far as I'm concerned, Nat never was a mother. And she's just gonna look sad. I don't down in there. And like pat her on the head.
What do you mean exactly? And Kara's like kind of like doing that thing where like you're holding like someone's hand like while they're sleeping. It's kind of like that, like And he's like,
Sin kind of looks away from the bottle in his hands and he goes, "Well, Conrad, to put it simply, remember how wonky he made everything tonight?
yeah.
Well, he basically did that to Nat. He just used those powers to basically create whatever he wanted."
Kara just like kind of shakes his head, like like he's just kind of like he's. Right.
Put it simply, they're illusions. There were never tiefling children. There were imps posing as children. Nat's been safe. Had this wonderful dream that she's had for I don't know how long. And yeah, so in one way her children are dead, in another way they never went through any of the pain. Suppose that's a blessing in its own way.
You just hear a guttural growl from Cletus.
Kara just like sighs like, and he just kind of whispers under his breath, "None of this is a blessing."
Are you like whispering it?
He's like kind of whispering it, but he's not like like it's kind of like one
Go
of those
ahead
things
and
where
give a
he's just
stealth
saying
check.
it. He's not trying to be quiet about it. He's just saying it like under his breath.
Okay.
Mumbling.
Yeah, kind of mumbling. Actually, that's the best word for it.
Okay.
Is Raina in the room, by the way?
I would believe so.
I thought you followed them up the stairs, up to the room.
I am in the room. I'm just
Yeah, I mean, she's there.
all
right.
Probably on the outside of the circle, like.
I'm essentially like
Just staring awkwardly from the doorway.
essentially, yeah. I'm just kind of there, just like I'll let you have a moment.
No, you're probably doing the cool thing, like you're on the other side of the door, like in the hallway outside of the room, like with your back against the door, like frame area.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of what I was thinking about, where I poked my head in and was like, I'll let you guys have a moment.
So Kara's gonna say real quick, Raina, I need to speak with you for a moment.
Hmm.
And he's gonna get up from his position and walk towards Raina.
Jacques looks towards you. He's like, may I ask what this?
And Kara will just say it too. Well, because I assume he's kind of like in that midpoint between the doorway and where Raina is, right?
He's probably standing outside of the room, listening.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'm just the point is everyone can hear him at this point, right? Like where he's at currently. Okay. Yeah. Kara's just gonna say it. Raina, I'm not sure if you can ask, but if you can ask, let the Sultan know we need a break. We've been through a lot of this.
Actually, before you continue, I was going to actually bring this up. Actually, I was going to bring this up with you personally, Conrad, but suppose this is as good a time as any. Yes, I agree with you. You lot, I look, you need time, and the Sultan, speaking on the Sultan's behalf, would ideally want you all at your best.
Yeah.
So no, I don't doubt there'd be any issue, but that was actually after I let you guys speak. My plan was to bring this up with you personally, Conrad.
Thank you. That's appreciated. And Conrad's gonna go back to his spot and hold Nat's hand.
Cletus will just give Raina like a nod.
If you need anything on the Sultan's behalf or my personal behalf, just let me know. I will.
Demisary sits up and he's like, I need a drink.
I need some place to fucking relax, man. Conrad will just say that like he'll blurt that out. He's like very.
Speaking of a drink.
And as you guys are, finishing or discussing this, Sin goes, holy shit.
What?
He stands up with the vial that, Nat was given, looks towards the rest of you all, and he looks at the vial, looks at the rest of you guys, looks at the vial, and goes, yeah, I'm gonna hold on to this. Actually, no. Here, Conrad, you hold on to this.
Conrad just kind of holds on to it, like he picks it up, like he's like doing that thing where like you pick it up with two fingers, like okay, like
just a queer eye, like what is
yeah,
that?
what is this, Sin?
Well, I didn't get a good look at it when Juan and them gave it to Nat, but yes, this elixir that they gave her is actually rather expensive and very powerful. So if you should probably hold on to this, and whenever you think that it's probably best, I trust your judgment. And he hands you over the vial, and he says basically, like this was keeping Nat going, but she was under a lot of stress and strain from that curse, so she wasn't getting the full effects. But if someone who's not dealing with something like that drinks, basically they can go for another 24 hours.
Out of character, Damon,
And
what would I mark that as? Nat potion or what?
He cut out for me.
Yeah, he's not saying, he did not say what it was called.
Oh.
But this is, do you ask him, like, what is this?
Yeah.
Well, this is an everyday potion.
Okay, 1 second.
And
Everyday
he explains
potion?
it to you, and I will just translate it mechanically.
Yeah.
This potion, when consumed, you immediately gain the benefit of a long rest.
Oh.
That's quite an aid.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, what can I say?
And go ahead and write in the price. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 11,000 gold potion.
Holy shit! Jesus H. Christ.
Rain is actually going to speak up. Well, of course. The Sultan is not going to skimp on.
Just let you know, he did not tell you the price. I'm just for game.
Oh, yeah, no. I know that was an out of character Jesus Christ as well. I mean,
but no, the Reina in character will be like, of course, we're going to take the best care of our men and women. The Sultan spares no expense for his investments.
And Sin turns around after giving you the vial, and he's like, and on that note, after drinking that, I think I'm ready to have a good evening. And Sin just begins to walk out of the room.
Before you go, just drink on my tab. Essentially, I'm opening my tab up at Dick's for the party.
You just hear Sin laughing as he's going down the stairs. He doesn't respond in any other way. He just starts laughing as he's walking down the stairs, as if your suggestion was very comical, or there's just something about what you said just made him laugh.
Have fun, Sin.
I'm going to be broke by the end of the day.
Yes, you are. I pat Daemon on the back.
So Nat is going to be out of commission for the night. I feel like we should probably
Drinks.
leave her be.
Damon Series is like drinks.
Yeah. Rui, do you mind locking up behind you? Are you coming with us?
I'm gonna stay here with Nat.
Okay.
You know, she's gonna need the company.
Understood.
Two
Jacques,
things.
Jacques or Damon Series looks at Nat and then looks over at you, Rui. He's like, I mean, is she?
Sin did say she's probably going to sleep all night.
I know. I'll just say a few prayers for her family.
Damon Series is gonna walk up to you, Rui, and he's gonna pick you up. Do you resist?
Yes.
Okay, I need you to roll me a strength check.
Oh God.
Or wait, sorry. What's your fortitude?
Fortitude is 18.
Damon Series, Lady Abductor.
What's your reflex?
14.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. With you try to squirm away, but Damon Series literally just picks you up and throws you over your shoulders.
I imagine it's like he's very
So you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
To everyone else, you just see Damon Series just kind of one arm pick her up and just put her on his shoulder and just start walking out of the.
Is she struggling like visibly?
She's like, I mean, are you still continuing to struggle?
No, I think once I get over the shoulder, she's just gonna immediately give up.
Just go limp.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you are kind of like 7 foot something.
Yeah.
I'm not 7 foot.
Huh?
Well, you're up 7
Yeah, I'm
feet.
7. Oh yeah,
You're
I'm
up on
up
his shoulder, so you're now like 7 feet up in the air, just looking down at the ground.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
On the outside, I am livid. On the inside, wee.
Hold up, Damon Series, for a sec. Rui has the key. I gotta block up for
her. Damon Series turns Rui's head towards the door. He's like, "Okay, everyone out."
Yeah, Conrad motions for everyone to get out. Just,
Okay, I think it's just you and Cletus in the room.
Oh, is it like? Yeah. Okay, then we go then.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you guys leave, and Rui, you're able to lock the door from Damon Series' shoulder.
Okay. It's just gonna look and do a quick silent prayer to the green light. No. And try to help it, saying help it through these times of
give me your
grief
perception
and whatnot.
check.
Yeah. Maybe on the shoulder, but I can still see.
Okay, you look over at Nat sleeping, and you don't know whether it's because of Sin's dusting or relieving of the curse, but the last few days that you've seen her sleep, when she did sleep, it was probably the least painful she looked, and it was probably the most content she looked. But this is a look you haven't seen on Nat for a while now. Like, her face kind of seems just kind of, I wouldn't say numb, just kind of like zen. Like, she just seems really restful looking. Like, she's just in the sleep mode.
Sleep mode activated.
One question before we continue.
Okay.
So it's like Damon Series holding her under his arm now, just kind of aiming her for the door, or is he kind of lowering her down?
He kind of moved his arm towards her kneecap and then just let her slide down his back a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then once she was done, he just pulled her back up.
Okay.
Easy enough for the big dude.
Yeah.
That's a lock pick. This is a lock pick. Just holds her.
Before we go down and drink, guys, I want to discuss one thing. Who would who wants to not tomorrow? Obviously, who wants to break the news to Nat?
Damon Sayers kind of looks at you, Cletus. He's like, I think we all should.
Yeah, it's probably best coming from all of us than just one of us.
Okay, fair enough. Second thing, Conrad.
Yes.
I have a thing that you might enjoy. Want to come with me?
Okay, sure. Conrad just kind of follows Cletus.
Damon Sayers and Jock are standing there with their eyebrows raised.
What is it? Cletus says, like, I assume they're following.
Don't worry, buddy. Just come on with me. I put my arm around you.
It's not to worry.
I was gonna say, can I do an inside check on there's nothing to worry about?
I'll incite that too.
I mean,
Although,
Gaze into his robot soul.
Okay. Cletus, can you quickly just message me what you're trying to do, so I know what type of role or what they're really trying to do here? So just
read his code, you guys.
I may be on a shoulder, but I can still hear things.
I can see things with my special eyes.
Look with your special eyes.
No, I don't want to see.
My brand.
My brand.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Mind if I insert that as well?
Sure. Okay, relatively about the same. Okay. You guys look at Cletus. Raina, I mean, you don't really know Cletus too well, but you get the sense that there's not a lot of like craziness to it. Like, I don't know, his level of coyness seems to be like over dramatic.
I trust this big cow.
Maria, you've seen enough of Cletus to know that, like, sometimes, like, you know, his plans tend to revolve around certain subjects, and that. So you get the sense that it's probably around one of these subjects or something, or you know, it's probably some guy thing that Cletus wants to do. So, you know, it's probably something not too crazy. Doesn't seem that nefarious.
I was gonna say, when I'm over like David's shoulder, is like my face to his chest bit, or is my face outward that everyone can see? Like,
Well, at this point, Damon Sayers is probably about turning to just go downstairs.
Watch the corner, Damon Sayers. Just like bumps her in the hallway.
Just hitting every painting down the stairs.
Yeah.
And either way, it's like, am I seeing outward or am I seeing just Dimpersevi's body in my face? Because I imagine I'm still on the shoulder.
Right now, you're probably looking at Cletus and Conrad, because if you're trying to pull Conrad off to the side and they're heading down the stairs, you're probably going the opposite end down the hallway.
No, I'm going downstairs and going out the bar.
Oh, so you pass like straight past them and just head out.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, I mean, yeah. Then if that's the case, then Damon Sayers probably would have been heading downstairs. So you're probably looking at them as Cletus is dragging Conrad down the stairs out the bar.
I just got eyebrows raised. Eyebrows raised.
I'm picturing your eyebrow raised, arms crossed, just like bouncing up and down because Damon Sayers is walking down the stairs with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like she's giving you that look like, but you can't really take it too serious because she's just bouncing up and down on someone's shoulder.
You know that one meme of where they have eyebrows on the table and they slam their face down to put the eyebrows on their forehead?
Yes.
No.
I imagine that's what Rhea does when she's wearing the mask instead of taking the mask off.
Raina mask? What?
Oh, Rhea. Ryu?
Oh, Rhea.
Rhea.
I really
Rhea.
confused me because I'm like, wait, huh? Okay. Yeah. But Damon Sayers turns left and goes to a table. And you slowly move away from Cletus and Conrad as those two. As Conrad, you are slowly dragged towards the entrance of the bar and out the front. Reina, what are you doing?
I would. Well, actually, um, well, guys, I'm going to assume you are all going to have an evening to collect yourselves. If there's anything else, let me know. Otherwise, I am going to head back to the Sultan and inform him of the situation. And if no one speaks up, I'm just going to take my leave and head to the Sultan.
So you know where to find us.
I was gonna say,
I'll do
really,
like a
you're
thumbs
the
up.
only player character there still.
Yeah, I think it's just Ruya at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Damasers is there, Jacques there,
Yeah.
Sin's there, so there's a few of you guys.
Yeah, I'm just letting them know, like, I'm heading out. If you need anything, let me know.
I'll just give like a thumbs up and be like, yeah, you know where to find us.
Okay. I'll take my leave and head to the Sultan.
Okay. You leave the bar and you pass by Cletus and Conrad, who Cletus has pulled Conrad a few feet away from the door, and like, as I'm picturing, you probably have like your large Minotaur, robo body arm like across over his shoulder, like, hey, come over here, guy, come on.
And Conrad has like that very sheepish, like where are we going? Kind of.
Guy. Okay, and yeah, okay, so you start heading towards that. Do you stop to do anything as you see these two walking a few feet away from the door?
I would give a queer eye and just watch them, but pay no mind.
Okay, well, they're stopping and talking and discussing something.
Conrad's into cows now? What?
That doesn't surprise me.
Do they see me?
I'm gonna say no.
I would eavesdrop on the conversation, but if it's no interest, I would just keep walking.
Okay, Cletus, Conrad, you guys, or Cletus, you pull Conrad to the side. Are you guys are you guys, any of you guys looking out, or trying to keep it quiet? Like, what are you guys doing?
Conrad's,
No.
he's probably just asking, where are you taking me, Cletus?
Yeah, just over here. And I
Yeah,
stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Raina, I need you to give me a perception check because this is the evening time. Dix is pretty rowdy this time of night, so unless you get pretty close to them, you're gonna have difficulties hearing everything. So
17.
yeah, you can barely make anything out. I mean, you can get closer, but you have a feeling that,
I have more pressing matters.
Okay.
I just head back.
Okay. So we will take care of Conrad and Cletus. So go ahead, you guys.
So speaking of stress relief up there, it reminded me of something.
Okay.
You remember how when you guys got here, I told you I was about to send you a message?
Yeah.
Well, obviously I don't need to do that anymore. But there are certain people that you might want to message in the test.
Conrad, he kind of does that thing where, you kind of stop in your tracks for a second. And, he just kind of looks at, I assume you kind of went on for a second. They'll say, are you saying I can get a message back to Payne?
Possibly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So, he kind of, backs up a second. How will this work? Is it, secure? Can I, talk with her? It's not going to put her in any danger, is it?
I don't believe so. So I'll just tell you how I was going to do it, and you can decide what you want to do from there.
Okay, Conrad's just continuing to walk with Cletus at this point now.
Well, I stopped. I just stepped outside of Dix for a few feet. So, Melanodius here can communicate messages to Melanodius in the test.
Okay.
And you can have that Melanodius deliver a message for you. If you
We're
play
only 5 seconds away from a Dix, right? So we're not too far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's currently a couple drunk people yelling outside. There's a guy pulling some goats in the street. Like, you know, or near Oasis, no matter what time of day it is, there's usually some shit going on.
Gotcha.
Um,
Hmm.
but you guys are away from each other, you know, any like group or anything like that.
Conrad's tap the earring real quick. Sin?
What?
Hey, do you think Melanodius and Latesse is on our side?
He's on no one but his self side.
But do you think he'd pass along a message if I asked him to?
I mean, maybe. I don't know what he's up to.
But like, did he like us? That's my main question.
I mean, I think it boils down to whether or not he's there.
I mean, you're going to be paying him, Conrad, so...
No, okay, so like it's a
business transaction.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just a fake. Conrad at this point took his earring off.
Sin speaks up. He's like, well, I mean, if it's a business thing, I mean, he's pretty trustworthy with that.
Okay, thanks. It'll take his hand off the ear. Okay, and it'll it's like if you can, let's go to there. Oh wait, like
you still hear Sin. Wait, what are you guys talking about?
It's nighttime at this point, actually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, my bad.
It's pretty late night too.
Yeah. Okay. Kyle will actually just like walk into the bar at this point, and then but before he does, right? He's actually gonna hug Cletus for a second.
No,
he's gonna actually.
He's
gonna say.
You hug onto the cold, hard stone.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't even care.
Yeah, no, it's like literally that kind of feeling where, like,
in this moment, in this moment, like with how you're feeling with what he just did for you, he almost feels warm.
Yeah, it's like I don't even think he could reach fully around him, but he would try to reach as much as he can, and he'll just say, "Thank you, Cletus. It means so much to me."
You're welcome. Costs 150 gold, by the way.
Sorry, that was like that like one thing where like the eyes pop open, like.
I was going to say that bit of earring conversation. Did I hear that as well? Or is that just
he's hugging him, so he can't really.
Yeah, we're not in the earrings anymore.
I know, but that little earring bit.
Every bit that Conrad transferred over the earring, you guys all heard.
Yep.
And everything Sin said, you guys heard. But only the stuff that he transmitted over the earring.
Yeah, so that would be literally up to the point where Sin said, like, you know, if it's business transaction, it's okay. So, literally everything.
And you also heard him ask, you know, what are you guys talking about?
Conrad's going to enter the bar now, and...
Okay, pause for a second. Ruia, you get dragged into the bar. Demissaries goes over to the table and plops you down. And as soon as you like stand up and turn around, you see that he brought you over to the table with his uncle.
Please be like, I'll look at him, wave, and be like, "Hello." Just do a deep
nice
sigh.
to meet you, lass. And like he kind of does like a bow, and like his large antlers that are on his head kind of like bow down with him, and it's a weird sight.
Yeah, I'm just like nods my head in like a greeting gesture.
Yeah, he kind of has like a Santa Claus look going on because he's kind of intoxicated, so he has like rosy cheeks and stuff. A little bit of red on his nose. Like he looks like everyone's favorite drunk uncle.
I know just the type.
Yeah. And
Yeah, she's just
Demissaries.
kind of sad. No, not sad, but like trying to chuckle, but not.
Sin takes the table next to Demissaries and his uncle. And Demissaries immediately sits down, and Jacques sits with Sin. And Demissaries and his uncle immediately start talking again. What are you doing, Maria?
I was gonna say I'm at Demissaries' table, right?
He just plopped you down on the floor next to the table.
Oh, I'm on the floor. Okay.
Yeah, you're just standing there. Like you're standing there. He put you down on your feet, and he sat down at the table. You're kind of in between the two tables. It's up to you.
I'll go sit on Sid's table.
Okay.
You
You sit
know.
down.
Yeah, don't know if I've got time before that little conversation bit happened or after.
No,
Is
you
it
still got a few seconds for that.
a few seconds?
Yeah, a
She's
few
gonna
moments.
rummage through her bag and get the scroll that she bought at a magic shop.
Okay.
Yeah, just have a read through there. As you're like,
And
trying.
at this moment, as you're pulling it out, Gilneth walks over. And she immediately goes, drinks. And Sin pulls out a very familiar looking flask. I believe he still has it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I forgot to write that down. So I couldn't remember.
Well, if I think I remember, Cletus asked for it, and Sin gave it to Cletus.
Did he?
And then Cletus tried to, give Nat the
I thought
drink.
it was like Nat was drinking it. Ruya thought to finish it, and then like someone pulled it out of Ruya's hand.
Yes, Sin pulled it away.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cletus tried to get it, got it back last session.
Because I was going to give it to Nat to drink, but then Sin said, "Oh, I don't think she's really in a drinking mood right now." So Sin still has it.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, see, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, Sin pulls out a flask. He's like, no, I'm actually covered. And then Gilneth looks towards you, Ruya.
Yeah. I'll have a pint of ale. Look.
Okay, dear. Do you want me to start a tab for this table?
I think we're good.
And Sin kind of like looks over at you and looks over at Gilneth. He's like, actually, yeah. And he reaches in his pocket and pulls out a gold and slides it over to her. He's like, yeah, start a tab. And then
Deep
she
sigh.
and then she looks over at Jacques and he's like, oh no, I'm. And Sin kind of raises an eyebrow. He's like, can you even drink? And Jacques kind of like narrows his eyes and then looks over at you. Are you like interested in this conversation?
Oh yeah. I'll just be like, just looking with a curious face.
Oh, he's gonna look over at you, see that, sighs for a second. Yes, I can drink.
Question 1 answered.
And Sin kind of raises his eyebrows. He's like, that just raises more questions. Well, I mean, why don't you just have a drink? You're always so fucking uptight. And Jacques kind of sighs and looks up at Gilneth, who's been kind of waiting patiently as you guys are having this little conversation. And he's like, a bottle of wine, please. And she's like, of course. And she disappears.
Sin does have a point though.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah, I say that out loud.
What do you mean? Jacques says.
Put it delicately. And she's like putting her finger like to her chin like in a pinky pose. Like, I understand say radio magic probably is not good for you. Just wondering if I could heal you should I need to, without hurting you, so to speak.
He pauses for a second. He's like, you've studied a lot of the undead, have you?
You could say that.
So you would understand the difference between lesser and higher undead, correct?
Oh yes, but let's just say I haven't come across your type before. I normally deal with ghosts, spirits, skeletons, zombies. What do you find in the grave?
Well, it's understandable. To be honest, many years ago, a lot of things I thought about certain types of undead turned out to be very wrong. To put it bluntly, what they did to me created and turned me into a higher undead. So, to put it simply, I don't believe your healing magic would affect me negatively whatsoever. It's the holy and radiant types of magic that, to put it bluntly, hurts like goddamn hell. God's damn hell.
She'll chuckle at that and be like, that's good to know.
Yo, Damon, you got an echo coming from you?
Oh, I do?
Yes.
Anyone else hearing it?
I haven't. No.
Nat, why don't you try dropping out and back in?
Yeah.
Is it fixed?
I don't know.
Okay, we will continue if it's still an issue.
Go ahead.
Okay. I completely lost my place again. God damn it, this is why I can't.
He was higher undead. He was a higher undead.
Yeah.
Healing's fine, but radiant is bad.
He made a joke and Maria was chuckling at that bit. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's good.
you see for probably the first time since meeting Jacques, just the ever smallest creep of a smile on his dragonborn face.
Oh.
Yes. No, she'll notice that. Yeah. I can still hear the echo a bit.
Okay, I
No.
will try dropping out.
Haha, I wasn't crazy.
Aha!
There we go.
Well, that's why I asked if anyone else heard it.
I wasn't sure if I was crazy.
Join the club.
Are you hearing an echo? You know, Moose asked, and I asked, and then Maria's like, "I hear an echo, but maybe I'm just crazy." Okay.
I know, both of them just be like, let's just see the smile.
Yeah, it immediately
Smile
fades.
back. Yeah. She's just happy she got a smile out of the guy.
And within a few moments, she returns and she drops off drinks. And mind you, that the pints and the drinks here at this tavern are a little bit smaller than at Latesse, at the Squawky Box.
Not the full picture.
Yeah, they're not the mammoth-sized cups that you guys are used to.
I'm gonna pick up my scroll so it doesn't get any alcohol damage on it. And she'll be poking it towards him. It's like, can you just read this? Don't use it or anything, just read it and tell me exactly what it does.
Sin looks at the scroll, kind of eyes just the top bit of it. He's like, you do understand that in reading this, you used the scroll, correct?
She'll just nod. Even if she understands it or not, she'll just nod.
Basically, I can't read this. If I read it, it's going to use it. What is it?
Melodious at the shop said it could help with, say, and she's just gonna point towards her head a bit. Maybe no.
Gonna swipe at the scroll real quick, and he's going to start pulling out some stuff, and he grabs the scroll, pulls out some incense and some other things, starts prepping up a few things, unrolls a mat, and he opens up the scroll and begins to read it. His eyes glow. He starts tracing glyphs up in the air, and after a quick brief moment, he reaches out, and as he's reaching out, you see his hand glowing with just a radiant energy. This only takes but a few minutes, and he reaches out, and you feel the warmth wash over you.
Oh, it's just okay.
And you feel no noticeable change.
I've been chipped. She says.
Out of curiosity, did any of the drunks at the bar notice that?
You got to remember right now, the fire genasi is still in the bar.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah. He right now. He even has a bigger crowd.
My man.
Yeah. No.
Surprisingly, again, in Dix's, usually you guys aren't even the loudest or the most obnoxious or the craziest group in here. With the amount of shady, dirty, poor criminal elements, like it's a crazy fucking place in Dix's.
I was gonna say, being up in mood's just gonna take a bite of a drink and be like, it was worth a try.
He kind of looks at you for a second. He's like, nothing?
Nope.
Well, I mean, it's not completely useless.
How so?
Well, I'm guessing, from what I know, you were hoping that this was going to restore some of your memory.
Riley nods.
Well, now we know what didn't cause your memory loss.
Again, confused look.
He kind of looks towards you. He's like, you remember what you heard about me?
Yeah.
You're not the only one with memory loss, and I hate to say it, Missy, but, you have way more life than I have. My memories only go back a few years old. And in my study and trying to retrieve my memory, I learned of all the different ways that people can lose their memory. And trust me, I tried the same thing you did, and it didn't work. And what that lets us know is that there's a stronger force at play.
So, by what you're saying, this was intentional?
Something happened.
Hmm.
Probably something not natural. As he slowly uncorks the flask and just takes a few big, chugs on it, and looks at you. And he's like, it's always something. It's always fucking something with this group, isn't it? And Jacques just picks up his wine glass and takes a really big swig.
It's just like you have no idea.
I'm gonna join in the drink swigging. Does explain the fates we were given, I think.
You hear come from Jacques.
Yeah.
As he kind of turns his head away from you as you say that.
Continues to take a big swig.
Okay. You guys sit and drink, listening to the Genasi, making a lot of noise, and Damasaries and his uncle every once in a while drinking and stuff like that. You do notice that Damasaries' uncle is constantly having Gilneth come over to their table, and every once in a while he pulls her clothes and has her sit on his lap, and she seems to be enjoying his company quite a bit. Damasaries kind of turns away anytime that happens.
Just a reminder, Gilnath is an old lady, right?
Okay, Gilneth, her body looks amazing. Her face is just on a different level.
Gotcha.
There's something happened with her.
Okay,
Clearly.
just want to make sure I got that right.
The face that only a beholder can love.
So, Conrad?
Hey!
I was gonna say, look at episodes. Is it embarrassment? No. Is it just embarrassment from him being with her, or is it more than that?
It's pretty much like watching your uncle, spit game. It's kind of that level. Thing. You're just oh god, I don't need to really see this. Okay.
I don't know. I got been fooled.
Okay. And at this moment, Cletus and Conrad come inside.
Do we see the party, I assume?
Yes, you do.
So Conrad will just walk over.
I'm not gonna lie, for a split moment, I forgot about you guys.
I was about to say, how long was our conversation?
Yeah, I know. I forgot I was letting the RP flow.
So I mean, it happens, Yeah. RP.
RP trumps all.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll just say it took a little bit longer with you cheering outside.
Yeah, no,
Conrad,
we had
roll
a
me dex
very
check.
long hug. We had a very long hug.
Conrad, roll me a dex check.
Oh, 1 second.
Or acrobatics, sorry.
I'm a little confused as to why, but okay.
Probably a beer bottle.
There we go.
Okay. Conrad, you cannot contain your excitement, and after you give him a hug, you go to like walk towards the tavern, and you just do a backflip.
Okay.
And
Oh, man.
it's pretty fucking impressive. Like he doesn't do like any like lead up to it; he just does it, and like he does like another flourish. Like he's like, visually excitable, and you're loving it.
That,
Yeah.
that works. Yeah, I can see that.
It's actually pretty cool. A couple of people actually stop. I'm like, oh wow, what's that guy doing?
I was going to say, do I see the backflip?
No, you're inside. But
Oh.
you guys, come inside.
Clay just goes and sits by Damasaries and his uncle.
They are laughing, and as soon as you get to the table, Damasaries pushes over a mug towards you, and they're laughing and about something you're not quite sure. You just kind of walked into the tail end of it.
I'll take the mug and
Conrad,
drink. I'll take the mug and drink about half of it.
Okay.
Conrad's going to the sin table.
Okay.
And he'll say, great news. What kind of classes hands together? Cletus learned of a way we can communicate between here and Latesse, between the Melanodiuses.
Is he like wide-eyed, really like eyebrows raised, wide-eyed like?
Jock kind of sighs. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I would only use that means if it was absolutely necessary. I'm sure the Platinum Baron, or sorry, that was my fuck up as a RPer.
Yeah.
I'm sure those traders will be keeping a watchful eye of any connections you had in Lateste.
Conrad,
Goes
like,
back and
his,
takes another swig.
yeah, no, Conrad goes like, he went from that like very happy moment to like, oh, that's right. And he just kind of looks very defeated now.
Kind of why I told Conrad in private.
Jacques kind of looks over at you, kind of sighs to himself, pours a whole bunch of wine into the glass, almost filling it, and has a couple big chugs, and he sighs and he says, "Don't worry, that just means we have to make sure that we remain cautious in how we do it. Once we know that we can do it safely, there is an avenue to do so."
Conrad kind of like picks up his mood for a second. He was like, so like if I wanted to message someone I love, would it be okay? He kind of looks very meekly at Shock. Shock is just like,
What? Why are you asking Dragon Dad for permission?
It is kind of like that. He's like, would it be safe if I did so?
Dad, can we go to McDonald's?
Jacques kind of takes another sip from his drink. He's like, again, as long as we do it, intelligently, I'm sure we can come up with some idea. And he looks over at Sin, and Sin's giving a thumbs up as he's like chugging out of Nat's flask. Sin obviously has a goal tonight, and it's to get fucked up.
Conrad's like mood picked up a little bit better now. He's like, okay, you know what?
Is this
Like,
up to the test?
huh?
Oh, is it just a test, or can
Essentially,
it be used outside of
we pay 150 gold to the current Melanodius here, and he will send a message to the other Melanodius in Latesse, and he'll pass on the message to whoever.
Might be too far then. Takes another swig. Good.
Chuck kind of looks at all of you and he says, well, I know many of you don't trust me, and I would like to show some goodwill. If it came to it that you did need to send something to Latesse, if I'm not needed or required, I could always send the message myself.
Conrad kind of looks like he looks a little bit like surprised, but also like kind of thankful.
This is literally the first time you guys have seen Jacques suggest anything of him doing anything, so it's a little weird.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he looks like
are you
oh, thank goodness, but yeah.
Give me an insight check. Are you kind of looking at him?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, yeah, give me an insight check
I was gonna say, can I do that as well?
if you want.
Yeah.
Conrad, I mean, you took a couple big swigs pretty quickly, and
I haven't drunk anything.
I thought you
No,
had
that was me.
drinks. Oh.
I can drink.
See, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Oh wait. My eyesight sucked. I thought you rolled a 10 for insight.
I rolled 18. Just
Yeah.
so you know.
I
wasn't that one. I still got 16.
yeah, Riga, he's just hard to read. Conrad, you get the sense, you've seen a few men drink in your time in travel,
Mhm.
and living your life. You tend to be around the rougher, rugged people in life.
Yeah.
They're bigger drinkers, and they tend to handle a little bit more than your average person.
Mhm.
You swear to God, you can almost see like the faintest bit of that, like almost anime look of like just drunk, like kind of like he's starting to show the signs of someone who's intoxicated.
Oh my God, Shock's the lightweight. No! I did not say that in character, by the way.
I'm not.
He doesn't want to die today.
Drunk.
I mean, he's had some pretty strong and quick swigs of this wine. Like he's already technically he's now working on his third glass in a matter of like a couple minutes. So yeah,
Conrad will just say, Shock, that wouldn't mean the world to me, but I don't want you to risk yourself if. He kind of pauses his speech for a second and just says, I don't want to risk yourself unnecessarily if we came to it.
then I must ask: did you see me the night that I entered and spoke with Lady Katmara?
I did not know.
So trust me when I say I wouldn't say I could do something if I didn't know I could.
If you can, I know I have someone I want to get a message to.
I know though that this again, same with this other situation. It's only been so long since you've left. Try to hold off on this because any new faces, anything outside of the normal, they're going to be looking for, and we probably might only get one go at it.
Conrad just he's trying to think, he's very conflicted. Yeah, says, he just kind of whispers under his breath, I just want her to know that I'm alive. Then he kind of looks at it it's what's her name?
Jacques does a light grumbling chuckle as he responds and goes, "Well, your head is still wanted, so I'm sure she knows you're alive."
There's a bit of a worn smile on that, and Conrad's looking around for Gilneth at this point.
Looking around for what?
Gilneth, the bartender.
She's currently laughing on Damaris' uncle's laugh.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can try to get her attention.
Gilneth, he's gonna raise his hand up.
She finishes chuckling, looking over, she's attentive still.
Mm-hmm.
She looks over and she puts her hand on his chest and whispers something into his ear. She goes to stand up and he kind of boosts her up, and as she goes to walk away, he slaps her on her ass and she giggles, turns towards him and blushes a little bit. You get the sense that he does not really care about her outward appearance on her face.
He cares what's inside.
Oh God.
You never know. Maybe his uncle is a very enlightened person. Anyways, she walks over to your table and she's like, "Oh, how can I help you, lad?"
I'll take a whiskey.
A whiskey. You want a bottle or you just want a shot?
A bottle, yeah. Actually, a bottle would be called for at this point.
Okay. Well, your table has a tap, so I'll go grab it.
Thanks.
Can I do an intelligence check real fast to see if I can remember what liquor Nat likes best besides ale?
I mean, she enjoys her flask.
There's another one.
Okay.
I mean, so far, the drinks that she has enjoyed, or that you've seen her drink the most,
It was wine, probably.
probably wine, her flask, and then a few ales scattered in.
Yeah.
Alright.
Plus, that's out here.
That fire stuff was great too. Good times. Good times.
I mean, it was still rough.
Rough, but good times. Good times.
Alright. Oh my god, excuse me, dear.
Oh, how can I help?
can I get 2 kegs, 1 for each of these gentlemen, 3 bottles of your finest whiskey, and a bottle of your finest wine on Rhino's tab, please?
Jaemissary's uncle begins to chuckle. Oh, so you're gonna try to buy me a drink, Sonny? Well, we have a certain custom within our tribe. If you're gonna buy a man a drink, you need to challenge him first and win. And he puts his arm up. It looks like he's getting ready to arm wrestle you.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I'll put
Go
my
ahead.
arm up.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a strength check. Okay. He starts overpowering you. Give me another strength check. He begins to overpower you a little bit more. One more strength check. Possibly. Okay, you begin to start pushing back, and like his visual, like his face begins to change. His smile kind of disappears, and he kind of looks at the fist as you're starting to fight back, and he's like, "Oh, okay." He goes serious for a split moment, and then like almost a devious smile comes across his face. Give me another strength check. Okay. You look down and you watch as his hand, his knuckles and stuff are kind of hairy. You watch as the hair around his hand and knuckles begin to grow and cover more of his hand. And as he pushes, you almost feel his strength almost double. And he really starts pushing your arm down. Go ahead and give me another strength check.
Yeah.
He slams your hand to the table.
Yeah.
You've honestly not felt that overwhelmed ever in a straight up strength check. It's pretty impressive, and as he pulls his hand away, you see that fur and the hair rescind on his hand.
Alright, I won't buy you any booze then.
He's like, "Get this whelp here an ale." And she kind of like smiles at the whole ordeal, and she's like, "Okay."
I was gonna say, I want to get the lady's attention as well.
Okay.
Be like, "Hey, can I have a 3 of the same pints that you gave me before?"
Oh, of course, dear. I was just gonna keep going, and since you guys had a tab.
That's good. Thank you.
Dix's motto: keep going until it stops.
Good motto.
That is a good motto, yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's not really our motto.
It should be.
He has like 20 mottos. It's ridiculous. She sighs. Okay, drinks all around. Got it. And she turns around and begins to walk off. And with a quickness, she returns with your drinks, and she starts putting them out. And after a couple minutes, you guys see Dix wheel over a keg over to Ruia's table. Or he wheels it over in between your guys' table and kind of towards Ruia, towards the kind of back wall. And he looks towards the 2 tables as you guys already have like drinks all across the table, and you guys just ordered another keg. And you just see a really big, like, broken, twisted, toothy grin on Dix as he's looking at both tables just full of drinks. As a bar owner, he could not be happier.
Aw.
Cakes for the big man without the antlers.
Oh, Damon Sayers punches a hole right through it and dips his mug in it and starts drinking out of it.
I figured he would.
And he's gonna grab your mug and like kind of push it towards you. Cletus, the one his uncle just got you.
Yep, I'm drinking it.
Down it.
Alright, chug it.
Okay, and he grabs the mug from you. Like, you spill a little bit, and he grabs it. Damon Sayers has been drinking, so he's already a little sloshed.
Yeah.
And he dunks it into the keg, fills it up, and just slides it back over to you. And he raises his mug to clank it against yours.
Cheers, buddy. Clank.
And his uncle reaches across the table and clank. And he looks towards you. He's like, "So, you're a strange one."
Just a bit.
I've heard some stories about you. So what's it like? As he's looking up and down on your large mechanical body.
I can't eat food the same way, but I can still get drunk.
As long as you still enjoy life, that's all that matters.
I'm
Life
trying.
very mysterious forms. And he kind of looks over at Namasaries. He's like, our tribe knows much about that. And he looks over towards Namasaries. He's like, speaking of, so when are we going to discuss your future? And Damasaries kind of like turns his head. He's like, let's not talk about it tonight. I'll discuss it with everyone tomorrow. He's like, of course, we'll keep, such important tasks for another. Tonight, drinks, revelry, and women. And he's like looking around. Gilneth like comes around the table. She's like, yes, as he like brings it back over to his lap. And he begins to laugh and joke again with Gilneth, and Damasaries is just kind of sitting there like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, other table. What are you guys doing?
Conrad's gonna first slam down his first whiskey.
Okay. It is
Whole bottle?
It is crude, but it's whiskey.
Mm-hmm. And so he's taking that first one down, and he's like,
a bit of an ash aftertaste to it.
Mm-hmm. And then he's gonna pour himself another glass.
Okay.
I'm like huddled in the 3 pints I got for me, sell them to myself, and start drinking one of them. She'd be like,
Cheers, Conrad says, and he takes he'll take another sip, like a large sip of this one.
So
I
you
should just,
raise your glass for a cheer, or?
Well,
Yeah.
no, he'll just like do that thing where like he says cheers, and then like he'll sip a large one.
yeah, it'd be like little hand raise, flick the wrist a bit, then drink it down.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I know what that means. No, I should just look over to Sinazai. Do you want your memories back?
His thing kind of looks over at you. He's starting to get pretty tipsy. He looks at you. He's like, I mean, it's whatever, honestly. I mean, all I got is this, and he reaches towards his neck, and he pulls out, like, a medallion. He's like, I got this stupid thing. I don't even know what the fuck it's for. Do you try to look at it?
Yeah, I think kind of.
Okay. You see across it, it's just a simple metal medallion. It's etched and carved. It's circular. And in the center of it, you see an elven. It says Syncos. He said, I got this and this doofus, as he points over towards Agumon. And Agumon is sitting there looking like kind of tipsy, as he's just like, the wormling the entire time has just been watching everyone. Anytime anyone speaks or does anything, he's just kind of watching them, kind of like in a drunken stupor. And Sin's like, I got this and that jackass. And I mean, honestly, I just, I made my own way. I just did whatever the fuck I felt like.
I imagine that's where the name came from. And she just looks at the necklace and looks back.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just kind of made sense. But, I mean, I just take it step by step. I mean, I still feel like me. I know who and what I am. It's just...
when he says what I am, Conrad's going to take another big sip at that.
And, if I figure it out, cool. But if not, it's not going to get in the way of anything.
Yeah. Well, might feel something if I heard what my name was. Nothing. Should just be sad and taking a big space.
Yeah, he shrugs. He's like, memories are overrated. And then you hear just very subtly under his breath, like probably trying to whisper, but failing to do so. You hear Jacques kind of whisper under his breath. He's like, sometimes it's better not to know.
Conrad finishes his drink at that point.
Yeah, Jacques finishes his glass of wine.
She's just looked up Jacques, but then looked back at the drink and like, can't grieve if you don't know who you're grieving for.
Conrad's pouring another drink, and as he says that, as he's pouring it, he says, I mean, I thought I mourned my parents when, I heard, when I, thought they were killed, but seeing them in that dream, how viscerally it was, he kind of shudders a bit, and he's like, sometimes it can be a bit more painful to fully see it. I'll take another sip.
I know how they died. I just don't know who, what they look like, what they sound like. I just want to know who they were, that's all. Then who I was. She do a big stretch, like stretching her arms up above her head.
Well, you were
and take another drink.
You were 5 or so when you unbarred him, right?
8.
8. And he raised you all the way up to this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you say at this point that you are kind of, he's your family and you are who you are as of now?
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything that he's done. And, he's my father, I'll always see him as that. But, let's just say he often reminds me of, say, Elven Grace. That he doesn't have. She did like a little smile remembering, like, happy memories and stuff. It goes back to having a drink.
And Jacques sighs and he says, "You're smiling. Sometimes it's better to just hold on to what's good than to look for things that end up being bad. Trust me when I tell you that sometimes family is the worst thing you can ever find." And he kind of like retreats a little bit, like physically, like he kind of, corners around his mug and just kind of stares down at the mug and just kind of sips at it.
Can I do one quick thing for a second? Can
Sure.
I read him to see if it's like he wants to us to ask about it, or see if he's like, oh, I don't want to be asked about this.
Insight?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Because am I able to do that as well?
Sure.
Yeah.
If you think Rui would be questioning it or trying to
just
read
to
him.
see exactly what he's going on. I mean, okay. Yeah.
I mean, Conrad, he's kind of hard to read.
I didn't catch that.
He's kind of hard to read.
Okay, thanks.
It's obvious that he's retreating after saying that, but
yeah,
not quite sure what to make of it. Maria, you've honestly probably spent the most time with Jacques and probably had the most interactions, and you've probably seen the most upfront doom and gloom and all the shit that he's obviously dealing with, and just from what you've seen, even with everything that he's recently had to deal with like the platinum band council betraying him and all that other shit, he seems like the type of person who's probably been carrying shit on his shoulders for much longer. Like you try to thinking back to someone else, like thinking back to Daylock. Daylock obviously had a lot of stuff in her past, but there is still those moments of that pure innocence and good. Jacques seems like the person who just, it was way worse for probably much longer, and he's probably continually had to deal with shit. So whatever he is just thinking about or discussing, you have a feeling it's part of that, and it's something that obviously is showing a lot of hurt on him. So either hold off on it or wait for him to get a lot more drunk before you try to raise it up.
Yeah. You just nod. Yeah.
Kara will just
I should just still then drink.
Kara will just like after like kind of looking at them, will say, and I'll take another sip and we'll go like and Sin, do you have cards by chance?
Sin finishes taking a swig out of the flask, kind of eyes rolling a little bit like, I mean, don't you fucking know me by now? I got like everything. He's like, what kind of deck you want?
Just playing cards. Let's have some fun here for a little bit.
Oh, you want some fun? A big, just evil grin goes across his face. He reaches into his coat and he pulls out a deck and he just puts it down on the table.
Okay, Connor's gonna kind of like do that thing where you shuffle the deck a bit.
Do you look at him face down or face up?
Face up, yeah. He's like looking at them.
Okay, it's one card after the other. It is just all nudie picks. Different races, different sexes, like they're all just a bunch of nudie cards.
Cards are like as he's like shuffling them, he kind of notices that and he looks at Sin. It's like, okay.
Sin is just sitting there with the biggest, proudest smile on his face.
And Connor will go like, are you guys familiar with I assume like 21 or like any kind of insert game here?
Yeah, got it. Insert standard game type here.
Yeah, insert bar game here. Yeah.
Yes, you guys are
executing game.exe.
Exactly.
I was going to say, would I be familiar with card games? Don't think
Yes.
I would. Okay.
Yes.
What else are you gonna play with Barnum?
You've had a lot of time in seclusion with Barnum. I'm sure you guys had some games and stuff you would play intermediate, like on those special occasions.
Yeah.
Summer
good
festival.
special occasions.
You guys have like a couple ales, and he was kind of relaxed for the evenings. He was like a little bit of little less about duties and more like, okay, let's just have a night.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
Yes, but everyone's familiar with it.
All right, cards and start
They didn't
dealing
say
cards.
anything. I'm just telling them that they're familiar with it.
Oh, okay.
Jacques remaining silent, and he kind of looks over at you, Conrad, and then looks over at Sin. He's like, I'd rather not play a game of cards with a wizard's deck. And Sin just has this big smile on his face.
Can I insert Jackson to see whether he's messed up with the cards in some way?
Insight.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, Conrad's not inciting. Just make sure that's.
Rhea, he's been hitting that flask pretty hard since you guys have sat down. He has this look like he's probably has something up his sleeve. I mean, it's Sin. He almost always has something up his sleeve.
I know that'll be fun.
All right.
Yeah.
That's fine, Jock. Yeah, if you can watch if you want. And Conrad's gonna deal cards to Ruya and Sin.
And Sin looks over. He's like, "So are we betting?"
Let's just play a game, see how people are, and then we'll bet as we go.
You guys play a few hands, and every single hand, Sin wins.
How many times? Like 3 times or what?
I mean, how many times do you want to continue to play?
Probably 3 times. At that point, you probably insight.
He wins every single round.
Can I insight to see if he looks like he's expecting a win?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, this gnomish poker face. Every time he gets a hand, he switches to like a serious face. Just really hard to read, man.
Oh, wow, Sin, you're so lucky. Here, I thought I had the magic hands.
I know I am.
Yeah, definitely magic. Good.
Coward's gonna pour himself another glass at this point. I think he's up to 3 now.
You guys continue to have sip at your drinks, play a few cards. Cletus, what are you doing at your table? Just listening into them going back and forth?
Yeah, and after the second or third thing of ale, he's gonna start drinking the first bottle of whiskey, but he got.
Okay. Okay. Reyna.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted.
You make your way to the palace.
Okay. So I'm at the palace then? All right.
Yes.
Is anyone? Am I just at the gate, or am I actually just going straight to Sultan? Because I would be beelining it.
Okay. I mean, you can do so.
Yeah, I'm going to head straight to Sultan's quarters or wherever I know I can find him.
You go straight for the kind of meeting room that you guys go to.
Mm-hmm.
You go up to the door. You knock, and there's no response.
What time is it?
It's about like midnight.
Would I know he'd be preoccupied?
It's hard to say. I mean, you've seen the Sultan do some crazy hours before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could be entertaining the Empress or engaged with something else.
Any guards around or royal guards?
None on the path that you saw. I mean, you could try the quarters.
Yeah, I'll go to the quarters and see who's around.
Okay. You actually run into Juan.
Hey, Juan.
How can I help you?
I actually have some information for the Sultan. Where might he be?
Oh, he retreated to his quarters. I'm not quite sure what he's up to.
I assume he's with his wife. Or the Empress, sorry. Juan is the elf, right?
Juan is the Minotaur.
Oh, Minotaur. Oh, right. Sorry, I'm so bad with names. All right. Well, thank you, Juan. While I have you, how have you been?
Well, would I be anything else?
This is fair. Well, the news I actually do have is concerning the Nadlin girl. Was she part of the ones that helped
Yes.
Nadlin? Okay. So yeah, I would want to speak with her with this. So, you remember the Nat, right?
Of course, the little elf girl.
So, yeah, with the finding of her cause, I actually fear that this party we've invested in.
You see her slowly staring at you, nodding, and you immediately realize that Juan is probably not the person to discuss this.
You know what? Yes, that's probably fair. Sorry. So he's in his quarters, you said.
Yes, I believe he left there maybe but 20, 30 minutes ago.
All right, thank you. I just nod and just like, take care.
You do as well. And she nods and continues on.
I'm going to head to his quarters post haste.
Whose quarters?
Sultan's, if I'm allowed to.
Usually when he retreats to the quarters, unless it's an emergency, you don't fuck with him.
Okay, then in that case, no.
Usually if it's a matter that you need to bring to his attention, you engage with like Kane or, one of the, the closer ones.
I'll seek
Usually
one of
just
them
Kane.
out. I shall seek out Kane.
This time of night, he's probably within the palace training guard or training room.
Okay.
You head over there. You enter into the arena area, training area. And you see Kane sitting in the center of the sandpit, legs crossed in meditation.
probably be upset if I bothered him, but
You already have child. Come in.
sorry, Kane. I'm going to take up and take a seat next to him.
Okay.
Sorry for the interruption.
You need not worry. What is it you would like to discuss?
Well, I'm sure you're aware, but the recent group that the Sultan's invested in, they need
They're
time
a
to.
mess.
Yes, you said it better than I. Very much a mess right now.
Yes. I warn the Sultan to err on the side of caution when it comes to this group. They're young, immature, and many of them lack the discipline and proper training to uphold the Sultan's standard.
This is.
But let me speak frank.
Have you ever stopped not to?
Only in the presence of the Sultan. They are much like you.
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
They are young, they're raw, but they show much potential. You are the newest and the youngest member of the Royal Guard. This is much of a test for them as it is for you. And the Sultan is relying on your better judgment in this situation. So you come to me this evening, I suppose, to ask for an extension of some type?
Time, as much as we can muster for Nadelin's specific state. She needs time the most to recover, and yes, just days, a week if we can.
And I'm sure the rest are probably concerned about her well-being, so it's understandable.
Yes.
I will talk with the Sultan. The matter that we wanted you to address was rather easy. It was a simple task. Know that if you postpone this, the next task will be much more difficult.
I understand. We need just a little bit of time, enough for her to be on her feet, at least. I believe in this group. There's issues, but
I will speak with the Sultan, but if he is willing to postpone it, I can tell you right now that I would believe that he would shift it 4 days. Do you believe that is enough time?
we'll make do. I'm not going to question the judgment of what you believe the Sultan will do.
Then on the name of the Brass Sultan, I give you this order. Maintain vigilance over the group. Keep an eye on them. Help them as you see fit, and engage with them to gain benefit for the Sultan. Continue on with your mission. I will notify you within a few days, but I'm sure the Sultan will listen to your request for time, and he will change his plans accordingly. You know him. I'm sure he anticipated something like this happening, so he probably has something in place as a backup just in case.
Thank you greatly.
Is there anything else you would like to discuss?
There's one other thing that came into my purview. Since, if the 4 days is not enough, I was wondering if, what was the Elfid's name again?
God damn it. I almost called him Kravis, but I know that's not his name. I'm totally blanking. Should be easy because it's such a weird name. Krasgrot.
You and I both know that Krasgros has helped me in times like these. Would we be able to have a moment of his time if we need more healing, as it were?
Well, I must admit that if you are unable to do the task that the Emperor set forth, or the Sultan has sent forth, then I believe Kraz will have to take and helm up that operation.
Oh, it is not in talk of being unable to do the task, rather for Natalie's help specifically.
I understand that he will be busy with that task that you guys will be unable to do.
Okay.
What the Sultan was going to send you out to do, he will have to take care of.
Then no worries. We will be able to accomplish it. I have no doubts in my mind that we're able to do it.
And if you feel that she is not up to the task, make sure to prepare the group to move forward without her. And it would be a shame to waste such an asset.
I agree. From what I've seen, the group is capable, and they've been capable with her under the curse. I want to see where they go with her at full force, but it'll take time, I suppose.
Well, the time is the luxury we do not have.
Agreed.
And there's a slight sigh. He's like, go back to them. I will send word.
I will do so immediately. I'm going to stand up and then I'm going to take a deep bow.
Yeah. I mean, he has not stopped the meditation pose the entire time.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Thank you for your time.
No response.
I show myself out.
Okay.
Where
are
on
you
my
headed?
way out, I would like to head to my room.
Okay. You head to your room.
I am going to drop off the crystal I purchased, place them with the others,
Okay.
and I'm going to inspect myself and take essentially a breather, just a moment of recomposing myself.
Okay, you do so.
Okay, we can do this. All right. I'm saying this in the mirror.
I figured.
All right. Sultan's counting on us, and you know what? I'm gonna show him that we can fucking do this shit. All right. Head out. And did you see the message I sent you earlier?
Possibly.
Could you check that? Because
Kraz, usually.
is Kraz busy?
I mean, you'd have to go to his room and knock.
Since I'm already in the rooms, I'm gonna go head out of my room and go to his.
Okay. Yeah, you do so. You find his door.
Kraz, pardon the intrusion. I have some
Door
business over there.
opens as you're speaking.
That's going to be creepy every time you do it.
You enter his room and it is pitch black. And as you poke around your head around the door, a few lights begin to ignite around, and you see Kraz sitting, also in a meditative position as he's floating a couple feet off the floor.
Am I the only one that does not meditate around here?
And unmoving, you hear a voice in your head. Yes.
Cross. I was wondering if I could partake in some. I would like a few items of relaxation. It's come into my purview that my recent mission has had a bit more of
a prying in your brain.
Of course, why do I speak? You already know.
You feel it. Do you fight it or do you let it get?
Oh, I'm going to just let it go. I'm just going to go. Yeah, on
Okay.
just.
You hear a sigh in your head, and you feel that pull, and you feel him take that information right out of your head, and you look over as a drawer opens, then another drawer opens, and small little pouches begin to move over to a tray that's on one of them, and the tray just begins to float and move over towards you, and it's hovering like a foot up in front of you.
So just those pouches on a tray.
There's 4 pouches.
Sorry for the trouble, but I appreciate this greatly. I take the pouches.
And the tray goes back over the table and sits down. And he continues to float there. His body's motionless, but you see his tentacles kind of swaying a little bit.
I don't know what I'd do without you, Cross. Thank you. Bow and show myself out.
You do so.
All right. Pocket the pouches. All right. Let's see if I could get a room in Dick's for tonight.
Okay, you head back.
Yep.
Too easy. And as you guys are finishing up your 4th game of cards of Sin winning, the door opens as you guys watch Reyna come into the Dix's.
Reyna, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
And you come back to a rather drunk group of people.
Yeah, no, that was very much like, hey, Reyna.
I see you guys have taken to drink.
I'm just going to continue raping, like I haven't stopped. It's like, I don't have my mask on so everyone can see how drunk I am. Good.
Oh, well, it seems like I need to play some catch-up with you guys.
Yeah, come on, man.
If I have a spare mug of like pint of ale or whatever it was I brought available, I'll just pick it up and like hand it over to Reyna. Don't say anything. I'll just put it in her face.
At this point, you guys have a pretty good amount of alcohol.
Yeah, man. So yeah.
Like, you guys
Yeah.
have bottles of
Yeah.
wine, whiskey, spare mugs, like, pitchers of ale. Like, there's,
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cheers.
you have a pint of ale in your face now.
You also
I
have a
take
bottle,
it.
or sorry, a glass of whiskey in your face now. Connor's gonna pour you one.
Oh, at least let me take my seat first. I grab the ale and I sit down. I assume I'm just going to sit down between Conrad and Rhea at that point.
Probably.
So, how have you lots been feeling?
Connor looks at like what I assume is like a half empty bottle. Like, pretty good now.
Nah.
Well, R&R will do that. Well,
Ask
I
me
have...
again when I'm sober.
What was that?
What was that?
Ask me again when I'm sober.
Well, that means you need more, darling.
Yeah, she's not sober whatsoever.
Conrad, how are you doing with being sober?
Sober. I mean, Karen does a thing where like he kind of closes his eyes and like looks at like Rhea
Closes
is like,
his eye, and one eye closes before the other eye.
I am not sober.
Okay, fair enough. We'll conduct business in the morning then. Hopefully you guys won't have too much of a headache.
By
say
the way, that
confess
reminds me. Conrad like kind of puts his arm on Reyna's shoulder. So did you get back and did you hear news in regards to that break?
We have 4 days.
Oh, thank God! Thank the gods.
So, well, yes, 4 days.
Okay.
Do you believe Nats will be ready by then?
Conrad sighs and says, "I don't know about Nat, but at the very least, the majority of us will be able to carry out the task." Conrad like and then kind of stops for a second, like, "What is the task? He wants of us to do?"
The
Who's gonna
Sultan
try
has
to
a...
professional like think of it like 4 days ain't enough time to grieve, but I think she'll get there eventually.
Conrad, well, I don't exactly know the task. Sultan has a habit of only telling you what you need to know to get the job done. It's important in his line of business, you see.
That's fair. Well,
All
I can't tell you exactly when Natalie will be ready to go. I don't know how Nat will react to the news, but I will just say at the very least, one of us might have to stay here with her if she's that bad, but I think the rest of us could be able to go if need be.
Knowing the Sultan, I would say we need the majority of the force. I can wager that we can make it without Nylon herself, but I wouldn't underestimate the task either.
Coward kind of nods and says, "Understood."
Cletus can hear all this, correct?
Give me
How
a
far away are the tables, by the way? Actually, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
honestly, like 2.5 feet maybe. They're pretty close, but you guys gotta remember, there's a lot of
It's a
fucking
loud
people in
place.
here. It's loud. The emissary's table is loud. So there's a lot of crossover stuff. So Cletus, go
That's
ahead and
fair.
check.
And we're
There it
drunk.
goes.
You're getting bits of it, Cletus. You get the gist that you guys have an extension.
Okay. Then
But-
I won't chime in.
But wait, you say you will or you won't chime in?
I won't.
Okay. But Conrad,
Yes.
for now, let's enjoy ourselves. We can worry about the future when the future comes.
I gotta say that's music to my ears. I've kind of like there's like a very that's like that kind of like concerning chuckle where they're like they're laughing, but it's like clearly they're stressfully laughing. Like I've been stressed out of my gourd. Oh gosh.
Sin kind of chuckles. He's like, I mean, I got something that will help with that.
Oh
I got
gosh, what is
plans.
it?
Mm.
Here, why don't you smell my finger?
No, I'm not. I'm not
Are you sure?
pretty sure.
And he reaches into his robe and he pulls his finger out, just a single pinky, brings up to his nose, and he goes, and he's like, I'm telling you, it's really good.
Coward's gonna look at Sin for a second, would it be perception to see if it was like a drug?
Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't see anything. He just kind of reached in his robe and smelled his finger. He's a crafty son of a bitch.
I can't tell if this is just you trying to get people to smell your ass or some kind of narcotic. Either way, it's a pretty low prank for you, don't you think?
He looks over at you, he's like, I mean, who's really the low one here? And he kind of just narrows his eyes for a split moment of seriousness.
Coward did not chuckle at that. Just by the way, that was me.
And then he
I
smiles
just
like
leaned back.
over at Conrad. He's like, oh, okay. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't want to.
I mean, I'll be mad. Like, I gotta. If you. Sure, why not? Coward just like. He does what he says.
He reaches
Just-
back into his robe again and he extends his pinky towards your nose.
Does so.
Okay,
Like,
do you copy what he did?
Yep.
You feel like a quick burn through your nostril.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an endurance check.
1 second.
You get a whiff of ass.
Okay, you immediately start feeling not drowsy, but just like really relaxed and just body's kind of loose, and you're just, oh man, oh, it's a good night.
So drowsy, or like relaxed, but not like falling asleep. Relaxed.
No,
Okay.
Can I have would I know if narcotics are permitted in dicks?
I mean, a lot of things are kind of permitted in dicks.
If I see this, I'm going to just say, you don't have to be sneaky about that.
Sin looks over at you. He's like, "Who says I was being sneaky?"
Well, you are putting your pinky into your robe.
I mean, where else do you carry shit?
Pockets? I mean, usually when I do that kind of thing, I just lay it on the table.
I
I go
mean,
pat Raina on the head and it's like, sneaky's more fun.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it is.
and plus, if I did just put it on the table, I wouldn't have Conrad looking at me like a scared little bitch. And he just looks over at you.
Hey.
Yes, fair enough.
Yeah, he's like, you see him like kind of leaning back in his chair, like, oh,
Like,
I feel comfy now.
you immediately like give up on your hay. Like you're just
Yeah.
like, hey, oh, good stretch. And Sin kind of looks past you right now over at a table across the bar. He's like, Jesus Christ, they are loud.
I mean, that's dicks for you. It's always halfway in somewhere.
I was
I
mostly
was gonna
talking
say,
about
is it
this wizard over there.
Oh, him? Oh, he's... Don't get me wrong, if you bunked next to him, you would really hear how loud he is.
I mean, he's been sitting in the bar the entire night playing stupid tricks on these idiots.
Well, you go over there and show him how to do a real trick if you're so confident.
He kind of looks over at you, takes another swig of the flask, and he gets up off the table and starts walking over there.
Uh-oh. You had to challenge him.
Raina, just a devilish grin, taking a sip of their ale.
And do you guys go over to watch, or are you guys going to try to sit?
I imagine it's like,
yeah,
just turn around, yeah. It's like sit in the chair, but like look.
I mean, if you guys want to know exactly what's going on, you might want to move close.
I'm just gonna have a swig of my drink and face palm and continue to drink.
Okay.
I'm just gonna wait to see how this plays out. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but I assume if anything happens worth knowing, it'll be loud enough that the whole bar will hear.
Okay.
Conrad's like a little too relaxed in his chair, so he's just kind of watching. But
you guys watch as Alcor goes and he's playing the cup game with one of the bar people. Sin walks up. The fire genasi looks over. Sin says something, and a big grin goes across the genasi's face. You guys watch as the guy who was sitting at the table in front of the genasi moves aside, and Sin sits at the table. He begins to start moving around the cups, and he shuffles it and stuff like that, and he stops moving the cups. And previously in Reina, you've seen this trick.
Mm-hmm.
You know that no one has ever. It's not the guess which ball or which cup has the ball. It's the opposite. You have to pick which cup doesn't have a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And no one has ever beat him. It's a game he plays all the time, and people are always challenging him, but no one ever wins. And Sin points towards a cup, and you see a grin come across the genasi's face as he goes to lift up the cup. You guys watch as Sin snaps his finger, and the cup raises off the table, and there's no ball. And you watch as the genasi looks at Sin, and Sin just has the shit-eating grin on his face. And you guys watch as the genasi quickly stand up from the table. Kind of like everyone kind of takes a step back. And he, with a flourish, a staff appears in his hand, and he smashes it on the ground. And you guys hear a very deep echoing voice enchanting some arcane runes, words of power, and it starts to echo and reverberate within the bar. And quickly, you guys see a split in the middle of the bar. Just a tear in the middle of space, and it begins to open, and out steps a small imp. And it flutters over towards the genasi. And Sin kind of smiles, and he opens up his tome, and he starts, reading words, and you guys have seen this before when he summoned someone. And you guys see another tear in space as a hellhound comes out of the tear. And they both kind of stare at each other for a moment. And you guys watch as the genasi pulls out his tome and begins to flip to a page and starts incanting something, while Sin is also doing something as well. You guys watch as a gigantic fiery hand forms in front of the genasi, and the genasi's hand kind of imitates what it's. And you guys watch as Sin.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but can I say something real quick, just like to Reina?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very nonsense thing. 1 second. Actually, no, I'm just saying it. Is he trying to compete with Sin? Because he'll lose. He's very competitive.
They both are. That's why I started this. You wanted to have a fun night, right? While watching a dick measuring contest between a short stout and a flame beard is the best kind of night.
I mean, that wouldn't matter too much to me. I mean, that's kind of entertaining. Car's like, he's a little gone at the moment.
I'm just going to quickly poke Raina. Like, do you think this building can survive this, like, big, like, contest thing?
How can I roll? What do I roll to be like, oh, it'll be fine, or to know if it's not fine?
I mean, you know that Alcor can get it, or like he can get a little crazy, and that's with one wizard.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Explosions go off.
Yeah, in your head, you're just picturing dicks as blowing up. And yeah, he creates a gigantic fiery hand, and you guys watch Sin do the same familiar incantation to summon a giant icy hand. And the two arms or hands clasp against each other, and it almost looks like they're trying to like arm wrestle each other. And
Okay,
they're fighting back and forth for a few moments before the fire genasi claps his hands together, and everything that they summon, everything that they put out, disappears.
See, I told you it'd be fine.
And he's looking at Sin, and just a big smile comes across his face. And he says something that you guys can't hear, and he gestures Sin to sit back down at the table. And they begin to talk, and everyone around the table is like, oh, like at everything that's happening. And, like they begin to sit down, and Sin sits down at the table, and they begin to talk. He pours Sin a drink, and they begin to just start discussing something.
Alright, I just want to show off what exactly happened. But magic. I'm just gonna send this video because this is exactly how. Do you know the scene where it's the two buff guys from Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes.
That's literally what just happened.
Um,
But
and,
magic.
and with this quick and short wizard duel, as everyone is watching in awe, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break.
Yay.
See, I told you they wouldn't blow up the bar. Probably. I mean, this time.
Next day, bar is just like splinters.
All that's left is ashes and ice.
Yeah. We wake up and suddenly we're very cold. Oh, warm the moment when you look at it because I'm no longer inside.
Hey, I made Alcar happy though. Did half my job.
I got the tiniest smile from Shaq.
I'm almost wondering if there was like a crack in that, like it's like kind of like that stone crack, like.
Right, I'll be back.
Okay.
Maybe if the bar was quiet, maybe.
It's a good session so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Having a good time.
Cletus got a bunch of booze.
Car's finally relaxed. Sin's in a dick measuring contest with the wizard.
Yeah.
There's a few dick measuring contests tonight.
Hey, Conrad, you want to have a dick measuring contest?
At this point, you actually wouldn't mind.
Can you really have a dick measuring contest if one guy doesn't have a dick?
Well, we don't know that.
Guess you guys are gonna have to find out.
Just drop the trousers and it just keeps going.
Like the camera doesn't cut to Raina taking off their pants. It's just off camera. You see like Conrad looking as the camera shows Conrad looking at Raina taking off their pants, and all you hear is like the unbuckle, and then you hear just a thud on the floor. Conrad's eyes go wide, like, Whoa.
Uh,
Any of you guys see basketball?
No.
No.
Oh, God damn it. Just give me a second. They actually have exactly the
there's
scene.
actually one thing.
Basketball?
Basketball. If you guys have never seen basketball, it's the South Park guy. It's like their first movie they ever did.
Oh, okay.
Never even heard of it.
I don't remember how to spell basketball.
Neither do I. Dick Fud meme.
Oh, that's how you spell it.
Is it Baesketball?
Yeah. Yep, I forgot an E. Gotta find the right one.
So how's everyone's weekend been?
Pretty dull. Not much really going on. Yours?
It's pretty good, actually. Had a date last night. Went very well.
That's good.
Not many people will get this reference, but I thought it was hilarious. And it kind of reminded me of exactly what Dan was talking about. And for the audience, it's basically a Love Guru reference where the dude, like, oh, why do they call you, what was it, the Lake Hawk Grande? And they're like, well, then he unbuns the tail and just hear a big thump.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I tried to find a clip of that scene and it's not there.
I just imagine when Sin gets in a dick measuring contest, like, they call me the tripod. Why?
Yep. Pulls a mini me.
Yes. So it's a good time we took a break because my computer's wanting to have a crash.
You know, according to the Austin Powers lore, that was a clone of his son showing him his dick.
What's that tattoo say?
The what?
The tattoo in the video Conrad sent.
Alright, I'm back. My computer got done dying.
Something.
Oh, it's like the man, the myth, or something like that. I can't remember. It's something stupid like that.
The man, the myth, the tripod.
I think it just says the man and the legend.
Yes, it's something like that. Le Coq Grande.
Just walking around in the palace, just like, why am I the only one that does not meditate? Just walks into the big trolls room, like, and he's even sitting there meditating.
I mean, you can always check.
My
Gotta
favorite,
find your
the man,
inner
the myth, the
Zen,
legend. Scott Sterling.
You gotta find your inner Zen, Raina.
Everyone needs their own inner Zeniro. It's a good session so far. I'm gonna walk away real quick, go to the bathroom, and come back.
This good.
Okay.
I just find it funny. I think this is probably the longest anyone's seen Maria without a mask on ever since she got her. And she's drunk.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And, also, probably the longest we've seen her face in general, because, even when
Yeah.
you didn't have the mask, you kind of wrapped yourself up. Like,
Yeah. No. Duh.
She's 2 sheets to the wind, and she don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She needed this.
How much
Yeah.
did that booze I got cost, Damon?
What booze that you got?
The whiskey and wine and kegs.
Oh, you mean on that booze that the uncle wouldn't let you buy because you couldn't beat him?
Oh, I assumed I got everything except the keg I ordered for him.
No.
No.
yeah, because basically it was like, okay, either you buy drinks or I'll buy drinks. Arm wrestling contest, kind of. At least that's right.
You learn through the conversation as they're talking. Basically, it's a custom that the leader, the strongest man in their tribe, was usually in charge of making sure that the hunt and the drink was taken care of.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's usually the top dog who takes care of things.
So in this case, it was the uncle.
Okay. Well, Rana,
Yeah, when you're
you're,
playing, you get free booze.
Yeah.
I'll get rid of those bottles of whiskey I added to my inventory then.
I mean, you can take them if you want. I mean, you don't care.
Alright, yeah. They're not all for me.
I mean, given what the content is out on the table right now, given that it's Demissaries and probably someone equal to Demissaries, you get the sense that most of this booze will be gone tonight.
Hmm. Okay, then I'll just pocket one thing. It's a bottle of fine wine, which is for Nat.
Yeah, because honestly, this would have been like 20 gold. Okay, is everyone back?
I
I'm
am.
back.
I feel
Rana,
like I'm missing one.
Moose.
Yeah.
he said he's
I
here.
think, I think
Rye?
Raina's going for like bathroom break.
That's true. Yeah.
No, okay.
Can't start without the Sultan's right hand.
Well, I mean, quote unquote right hand. But reality check.
I've heard since. I was gonna say, I've heard if Raina's not here, if a character's like staying still, we just draw on the face. Just draw.
yeah. No. Raina actually passed out, and we're just kind of
When my other DM, if like a player was missing for whatever reason, they would just say the character's gone behind a tree. It's just constantly behind a tree. Even if they're not doing any stuff, it's just behind a tree. So good.
Does not make any lick of sense.
No, I mean, there's just a tree and Dick's halfway in. Just it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, there's indoor plants, right?
In Dix's, no. You get the sense that something like that probably would have died years ago.
Yeah. I'll
You know.
rephrase then. There was an indoor plant. There's now just like an empty pot.
Yeah.
An empty pot full of like,
Probably piss
I don't
and
know.
booze.
Yeah, booze, yeah. It's very stinky.
But trust me, the smell in Dick's is not like it was at, the Squawking Box.
Yeah.
I know, I imagine I'm okay with the smell.
Oh, at this point, you guys have stayed here long enough that, it's kind of gone to the back of your nostrils.
Yeah. Yeah, but I probably never noticed. I think.
Oh, you noticed.
Fair enough.
There's a difference being used to dead bodies and being used to what this smell is.
I know I
Very
don't tend to go around actually smelling dead bodies, so I don't know what they smell like.
Oh, trust me, you know. Are you back yet, Rena?
Not yet, looks like.
Okay. We should have a rule that if you're gone, you should mute yourself, so, we at least know that.
That's generally what I do, but everyone handles it differently.
Cletus got to make Conrad a happy boy.
He did, yeah.
The rest of the party. What's Cletus doing with Conrad? Yeah, he'll be fine.
I just imagine like Conrad looked like very like sheepish, like where are we going, Cletus?
It's like Chris doesn't come. No, was it Conrad doesn't come back after like half an hour. We start getting worried.
That's if Conrad doesn't come back the next morning and Cletus does. Then you get to be worried.
Then suddenly Cletus has a nice new jacket.
All of a sudden, Cletus became an archer. Where did he get that bow?
I'm back.
There we go.
Yay.
Sorry about the wait.
Okay.
I was communicating with my sister.
No worries. Okay, so you guys continue.
What table are we on right now?
The what?
Like
table?
with regards to the scene, like are we focusing on Cletus's table or on our table, like the Reina, Ruya, and Conrad?
I mean, whatever.
So Conrad was like, look at
You guys
Reina.
just
Like,
got to see this ordeal between the wizards. It's up to you guys where you guys go.
oh, that's right, yeah. Well, that was entertaining.
Raina's going to call over one of the waitresses.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me, love. Can I get something to eat?
Sure. What are you looking for?
Well, as always, I want one of the Dick's surprise.
Ooh, it's a little late for one of those.
Well, then whatever you have prepared, I suppose. They usually do just pies, right?
Pies, but he also does other things like he does make like cheap sidebar dishes, which are also kind of experimental.
How about, can I get a bag of wings for the table? Or a basket of wings?
The closest that he has to that is something called Crispies. You have no fucking clue what the meat is. Every once in a while, they're kind of chewy. But they're kind of like fried beef jerky, kind of. It's the best way to describe it, with like a kind of spicy, tangy flavor to it. It's just you're not quite sure what meat or whatever is used in it, so there's sometimes a mystery one. But they're relatively okay.
I'll get one of them.
Okay.
Or a table.
Too easy. Luckily, Cindus said earlier that he was taking care of the tab, so you're just, upping his tab.
I offered my tab, and the only one who used it was Cletus.
Well, he didn't even use it either. The uncle did. That was
not. But after like a good 20 minutes or so, you get your stuff.
Yeah, so just order for a table so anyone can just dig in.
And honestly, with how you guys are feeling with the day you guys had, you guys really didn't have a dinner.
Yeah, I don't think we did. Yeah,
been a while since you guys had any food, so you guys are pretty drunk, and yeah, you guys are digging into that fucking food.
Yep. As like Conrad pops one into his mouth, we were like, so Reyna, what's
And
the
Series looks over to your guys' table, immediately looks over at his uncle and the wench on his lap and goes, "Can we get some too?"
Yes, get them on my tab. Well, since tab, I suppose. So what were you saying, Conrad?
So what are the sights to see in Enter the Oasis? We really haven't, explored other than reasons of, necessity. We haven't really taken the luxury tour, I guess.
Well, you saw the iris.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the main attraction there. There's a few shops around that are very fun to go around in. Then again, I just enjoy shopping.
Yeah, I can tell. Coward chuckles a little bit at that.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm a collector. I find what's interesting. Other than that, though, the iris is really the main draw. I'm sure there's some entertainment around that section as well.
Mm-hmm.
I assume. Out of character, I assume.
Just give me a general streetwise.
I can do that. Where there you are.
Okay, you know a Neuroasis. Whatever your sin, it's there.
Honestly, whatever you want, I can point you in the direction of it. Well, for one, if you're looking for women, there's this place, of course. Places to eat, there's always good places. And something a bit more risque, well, I could point those out too.
Well, is there a bathhouse or a hot spring or something like that?
I'm sure there has to be.
3.
3 specifically. Do I know the names for them?
The Sulking Pool, which is kind of the lower one. What's the second one? Jesus Christ, why can't I ever remember the second one? Oh, Libra's Den, and that's kind of like, it's attached to the resting net, the upper end hotel, and then there's another one in the upper ward, that is called the Glorious Pond.
Well, the other inn, they have one attached. There's also another one that's a bit more not as.
Your recommendation would probably be the Glorious Pond.
But outside of my personal taste, I just clean up at the palace. But if you're wanting a bit more social, the Glorious Pond kind of fills that niche if you have the coin for it.
Is it so it's heavy on the coin then?
I assume.
I mean, you could probably rent a room for the entire party for maybe 25, 30 gold.
Well, don't worry about the price. My job is to get you guys taken care of. If you guys want to have the best spa treatments you have, I'll do my best to get you taken care of.
I think that would be wonderful. That's my opinion. That's my vote. Coward's he's doing that thing where he's a little bit gone, so he's not being fully serious about it.
Well, see how Natalin is tomorrow, and we can discuss it in further detail.
Yeah.
By the way, just for general knowledge, Raina's been playing down the Joker edge just because of all the drama that's been happening.
Gotcha.
That's just so you don't even need perception or insight for that. That is just they are willingly I'm just gonna play this down. They don't need the sarcasm.
Okay, I need everyone minus Rena to give me an endurance check.
Oh gosh. Oh god.
Phew.
Okay. Conrad, you're getting fucking tired.
Carl will just say, alright, I'll go to bed.
Cletus and Rhea, you guys got a little bit before you guys are going to be at that point.
That's good.
Rainer, you're tired. It's still late, but you're not as bad as them.
My job usually pertains in staying up late, anyways.
Well, with the ordeal you went through with the fight and everything, you're tired. You're exhausted.
Oh yeah, I'm exhausted
from that. But yeah, you're not as bad as them.
Yeah, a bit more endurance in this state. Well, don't stress yourself, Conrad. If you need to rest, go ahead. We have today and tomorrow and a couple more days as well.
Okay, Conrad just kind of tries to find his balance for a little bit, and night everyone.
And I'll go poke Conrad before he goes. I'm like, give Nat a hug for me.
She's in your room, so
give her a hug for me anyway.
I mean,
doesn't he need the key?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of saying.
Hug the door.
Yeah.
Conrad, you're staring at Maria. Like, she may not be as tired as you, but she is fucking blasted. You don't know if she understands what you're actually telling her, and you guys are just lost in like some loop conversation.
So recently,
she's just poking you, tell it. Yeah, she's just poking you, saying, "Just give Nat a hug. Just do it."
Okay, sure. Conrad just like does that like wave, like okay, and he
Good
just goes up to his
Conrad.
Night.
Don't let the bed bugs bite, Conrad.
There's bed bugs. You gotta stop the distractions that like there's bed bugs.
Actually, you would not care right now.
Yeah, and then like fuck, who cares?
You were dusted.
Yeah, that's right.
The joys of not using a bed. Continue to drink. So good.
Yeah, no. So Conrad just goes straight to bed.
Raina's just gorging herself on the food. Just enjoying herself.
And Jock is just kind of staring at you as you eat.
Yes.
He kind of pulls at his collar a little bit.
You want some?
No, but watching you dig into that ravishly, let's just say, it's causing me to hunger.
Licking their fingers. I mean,
somebody hungry just look at someone eat food.
I was gonna say, I'm just gonna like put my finger up. It's like, do you need help? Because I can help. And she's trying to be serious, like trying to act, probably fade into act sober and serious, but she's trying.
Okay, as the sober one, as I look over Rhea, do you need help? Because just tell me what you need.
Jacques is going to stare at Maria for a moment, and he's going to stand up from his seat and go to the seat closest to you, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to take his glass of wine and just throw it back real quick. And he looks at you, and he just kind of pauses, and his face kind of goes somber for a moment, and just kind of looks at you, and he says, "I know you don't agree with what I am, but I thank you for this." And as you're kind of as you're kind of staring at him, you feel a quick across your arm. You lose a healing surge.
Mm-hmm.
And you suffer 1 point of damage as you feel a very sharp pain followed by just warmth as he just literally cut your wrist and started pouring your blood into his glass. And he fills it up a little bit and then puts his arm over the cut. And he kind of like gestures you to kind of take care of it.
Do I need to perception this?
Yes. Because he's doing the shit under the table.
Yeah. I'll attempt to do a hidden word on it.
You do so.
So.
20.
Actually. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see him, take an empty glass. You see her kind of wince in pain. You see basically everything but what's happening under the table. And then he pulls the glass out, and now it's filled with a red liquid.
Basically licking some hot sauce off my thumb, like, So that's your drink of choice, then.
and he brings the glass up to his face and he inhales very deeply, and then he slowly partakes of it. And you can tell, like, he's fighting just downing it. Like, he's trying to, like, kind of hold on to the sensation.
So, I know you probably don't relish having to do this, but I'm just curious about the mechanics of it.
What do you mean?
If she's drunk, will that intoxicate you?
I guess we'll find out.
Huh.
It's okay. I'm not that drunk. Continue to drink.
And there's a slight pause, and he looks over at you. He's like, "You're a liar." And you see his right eye just kind of like dribble down a little bit.
Rayna's just chuckling. That is.
And after a pause, he looks over at you, Raina, and he's like, "To answer your question, yes."
Her blood is 80 proof.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, second question. If someone gets high, will that do anything for you?
I guess we'll have to see.
I am more than willing to be the test. I think.
The person who taught me what I know, they were only able to teach me what they know, and they were secluded for, centuries, so I wasn't able to get every answer. And, to put it simply, how he put it is, it's a unique existence, and we're each different. It's kind of hard to be sure of things.
If you have questions, I would say, now keep in mind, this topic is not something I am versed in, but what's the, I know it's asked something, but what's the wizard, the Genasi's name?
Alcor?
Alcor. Alcor has, like, vast knowledge over all of this shit, right? He knows magic and all this stuff that just goes straight off from my head, okay? If you genuinely want some information, I'd say maybe start with him. Or I could start with him for you.
He pauses for a second, kind of looking at the now empty glass, and he looks up at you. He says, "The person who I seeked out after my transformation, once I regained some of my possessions, I sought out an old acquaintance of mine, an elder vampire that I had come across in my travels. He is the one who taught me. I doubt even a wizard, even practiced as he is, would know as much as someone who lived the existence for hundreds of years."
I mean, probably not, but information is vast, and the Sultan's reach is great. Let me put it that way.
I understand that, but with any transformative magic, every sigil, every arcane rune, everything matters. And from what I know is the affliction is different from bloodline to bloodline, from family to family. It all depends.
Hey man, I'm just reaching out. Take a sip of my beer. I'm just reaching out here. I don't know jack shit, okay? I just want to help.
Well, just know that this is something that is up my avenue.
Fair enough. Just reach out if you need me. Again, I'm your guys' benefactor. I have as much at stake in your well-being as all of you in your own.
And lost take is that?
I mean,
Who's just drooling, thinking about actual steak?
medium rare one, to be specific.
I mean, Rhea, you're probably honestly, in the state you're in, and just because you admitted that you wanted steak, these
Yeah.
meat pieces that are on the table smell delicious. So you're probably not going to be able to resist just digging in.
Oh yeah, she's still digging in, drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waitress, another round? Ordering more food.
Oh no, there's still plenty.
Oh.
You ordered for the table, and one of those people immediately got up, had a few, and then went to bed.
No, this
So-
is fair.
Yeah, there's plenty, and Jacques not eating, so
So really,
Oh.
there's like 4 bowls actually.
yeah, there's basically like a serving for 4, and there's 2 people eating. I mean, Conrad had a few, but
Raina
but
just
he didn't like it far.
Party platter.
Raina just finishes her bowls, grabs Conrad's, and slides it over to her. Just like, might as well.
the best way to describe what you're eating is kind of like, you guys know what pork grinds are?
Don't say that. I almost,
Right.
Don't do this to
Wait,
the
wait,
person
wait,
that's
wait, wait,
on Monday.
The very outside is kind of like that crispiness, but the inside is much more meaty.
Oh, okay.
I'm just thinking chicken wings, but like
It's
Without
it's
the-
almost like a fry. It's like kind of like a fried beef jerky, like that meaty beef jerky.
Mhm.
That's what
oh, so chicken livers.
a little bit, honestly.
Midnight at the moment. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Okay, I'll stop talking about the food. Okay. Yeah, but you dig in.
Wait till he orders dessert for you.
No.
And there's a pause, and then Jacques looks over at you as he fills up the glass now with wine again, and he takes a sip. He says, "Do you have any other questions?
Only stupid ones.
You might as well try while I'm in a giving mood." As he sips some more of his wine,
So like being
he looks pretty thrashed.
being of the scaly influence. Are your fangs like bigger than normal fangs, or?
You see his mouth open, and honestly, it's hard to fucking tell. His teeth are very large and sharp, but that's pretty atypical of how Dragonborn. But you do notice that where approximately on a humanoid the canines would be, though there are 2 fangs that are a little bit larger than the rest. But you have also seen on Dragonborns in general, some of them have that.
Interesting. That's impressive. I mean, at least you weren't a human with this ailment. I mean, they stick out like a sore thumb, I assume.
They do.
I guess in any solace, it could always be worse.
Yes, it can always be worse than having your god ripped from you, having your entire life ruined, and being subjected to unholy darkness because, your life couldn't get any fucking worse.
Yep, it can always get worse. Takes a swig of ale.
At that moment, I'm gonna attempt to stand up, go over to Jacques, and just give him a hug.
Okay, you do so, you stumble a little bit, like she almost like knocks her chair over, and
Whoa, easy, girl.
But you manage to get over there, and Jacques, he almost freezes up as you do this. Like, he doesn't move or anything. He has his like glass like half raised, about ready to take a drink, and as soon as your arms go around him, he just freezes into place. Have you guys ever seen an abused dog being touched for the first time?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
kind of like that.
That's good.
He just freezes, and you pat him, hug him, and you let go.
Yeah. Stumble back to chair and drink.
Yeah, and he just awkwardly takes a sip of his wine.
I just realised it. That she's trying not to laugh and probably failing.
Oh,
you're
Probably
another
like do
plus
the
one.
shake and smile type thing.
You gotta remember, you're pretty drunk right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's okay.
Sorry, I was closing my door just to make sure sound didn't travel.
But you guys continue drinking, and eventually, Maria, you are starting to get fucking tuckered out.
Should just drink slower.
So, Rhea,
This isn't a matter of just drinking. At this point, you guys are like at 1 a.m. after just running around the city and dealing with a very insane fight. You're tired.
Yeah.
So it's like
Just
probably
like a
that, like, you know, you're trying to barely keep your eyes.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like between the drink and there's no slowing down at this
Is
point.
is this visible?
Yeah.
Well,
I just look up and give like thumbs up. Like, yep.
Cletus, same thing to you. And Cletus at your table, Damasaries and his uncle are starting to peter out a little bit as well.
Okay.
So does the light his eyes like
No, honestly, like for you, Cletus, like some of your parts and body parts are just kind of going limp. You know, like you have that like leathery tail, and usually, you know, there's some motion to it, and right now it's just kind of drooping behind your chair. You know, like one of your eyes is like glowing a little bit less.
Never knew he was gonna say something.
Hmm?
I thought he was
Oh.
gonna say something.
Nope. Cletus is just relaxing, enjoying his drinks.
well, it seems like it's about time to retire, don't you think?
Cletus, just to let you know, the current conversation over at your table is his uncle is making fun that when Damasaries was little, he was a scrawny little bitch and had a tiny little weenie.
Oh.
Tiny
Amazing.
weenie, tiny weenie. Mhm.
And Damasaries immediately looks at you. He's like, "It's better than no weenie."
Fuck you, fuck you.
I really want to make my way over to their table now.
Yeah.
If I could hear that.
You're probably not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I
I
roll
could do you
perception
one.
to try?
No, because this is kind of happening as you guys were having your conversations.
Fair enough. Well, if I don't see much more happening tonight, I think I might as well retire as well. Actually, I think I need to get my own room. I don't think have I booked one here?
No.
I was
I mean, you have in the past, but you don't have a room currently.
Yeah. Before I get tired, I'm
gonna poke Reno and be like, I don't use a bed, and Nat's in the other guy's room. You can use this. I guess you could call it.
there's
Bed.
only 2 rooms.
There's 2 rooms. Nat's in your guys' room.
Okay.
So unless you're proposing Raina sleeps with Nat.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm drunk. Why not?
I mean, thank you for the offer, but I think she wouldn't want to wake up after losing her partner and finding someone else next to her. I think I'll just get a new room. Thank you for the offer.
No, the door's always open, and like I said, I don't choose the bed.
Oh, don't worry. I know the door is always open. I can kind of open it. I'm going to get up and head over to the bar to speak with someone, get a room.
Okay.
Where you going, Rana?
Just a room. Just need to... I never booked a place.
Why don't you just go back to the palace?
Well, I'm going to just head over to their table instead of yelling. Well, I mean, my job is to take care of you guys. Might as well sit close, right?
Yeah, but it's your room. Everyone likes to sleep in their own bed.
Don't worry. I've spent many nights here in Dick's. I think of it as a second home.
Okay.
I wonder if the Illithid's working tonight.
Only one way to find out.
Finger crossbows. I'm gonna do that.
Finger crossbows back.
Head to the bar and speak with whoever's.
Dix is at the bar currently.
Hail, Dix.
What do you need?
I need a room. And company, if you have it.
I don't think anyone's available right now.
Shame.
I mean, you know, I need some more workers.
I mean, I look around. Need a worker tonight?
You know the drill. They need to work for me.
I guess. One day I'll try sleeping here.
You know I wouldn't trust you.
Hey, I'm very trustworthy. Oh, by the way, here's
He just
no.
stone stares at you as he slides a key across a table. And he's like, it's the second one on the left.
Grazie. All right. Thank you, Dix.
And he immediately gets called by someone else at the tavern. He immediately goes over to that person.
I'm gonna go up to my room and see what I'm working with here.
It's shitty Dick's room.
Home.
If you jump on the mattress, there's probably going to be like that atypical cartoonish dust cloud.
Is there at least a table and chair?
I mean, there's a chair.
It'll have to do. Cracks neck and pulls out a bag.
Okay. Which bag?
I was given 4, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Is there any distinction between the 4?
Yes. One bag are these rolled herbs. Another bag is a clearish powder. Another bag is a bag of reddish herb. And the other bag looks like dried mushroom.
What do I have history with? Because I'm assuming herbs is going to be equivalent of weed.
I mean, honestly, you've never tried any of these.
Go to Mars, dude.
So just give me a second. So, herbs, powder.
There's red herbs, rolled herbs, dried mushrooms, and a clearish powder.
Alright, so red, rolled, clear. And what was the last one? Shrooms.
Yep, dried mushrooms.
1, 2, 3, 4. Number 3, please. Clear powder.
Okay. You how much do you?
A small dose.
Okay, like let's say a finger's amount.
Like a key bump.
Yeah, you give yourself a little.
Mhm.
You take it, and you feel like you're melting, and you know you kind of like lean into your bed, and you're like, oh shit, I'm melting more. And
I
just
would like
real
to.
quick,
I
just
will,
give me a second. Um,
what happened?
Moose, go ahead and take your earmuffs. Okay. Raina, you actually feel your form start to slip, and it almost feels like you start to melt, literally.
Well, I should have locked the door. Did I lock the door?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. I literally locked. Oh, okay, that's good.
And you just kind of melt into bed, and you're just really relaxed, and you're just like, I'm gonna sleep good tonight.
I just imagine like hair just turning to liquid dripping off the side.
Wait.
Kind of, yeah.
I had OBS. Wait, was that just my mic? Oh, no, that's just my mic. They heard you. I'm just making sure they heard you. You're good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. That's it.
Like the more I do.
Yeah, and you quickly find yourself relaxing into bed. Cletus, what are you doing?
I'm still just chilling with Daemosaurus and his uncle.
You're very tired. Are you just gonna try to steamroll through along with them?
Yeah.
Okay. Maria, what are you doing?
I was I look up Shock. It's like, are you gonna be okay?
I'm not quite sure how to answer that.
Is it? Do you want me to stay here, have a chat? Or if you need me, you know where I would be.
He
You're
softly
okay.
nods. Have yourself a good rest.
Yeah. She'll go over, drunkenly pat him on the head, and attempts to get up the stairs and get to the room.
She's the touchy kind of drone.
Yep.
You do some. You kind of pat him on his head, and it's weird because it's not quite hair. His tendrils hair is kind of weird. It's like kind of thick, coarse hair. It's like dreadlocks or something, but it's still kind of light and wispy. But you pat him on his head, and you stumble across. You see the table that Stin's at. And, you're going like you're kind of switching your eyes. That drunken like you can only hold one eye open at a time, so you're like going back and forth, like trying to get a read on the bar. Like you're a few steps of like needing assistance. But you stumble up and you get up to the door. You fumble around with it a couple times. You eventually get the door open. And you're able to close the door. You stick the key in. You turn it. You lock it. And you stumble over. You see Nat still asleep. And yeah.
Attempts to meditate and probably fail.
Yeah, you go over to the bed, you look at Nat for a few moments, like, oh, you think about everything that she's going through. That's it. That's the last thing you remember.
Yep.
Okay. So, Cletus, at your table eventually, Demisarius' uncle yawns and stretches. He's like, well, lad, talk to everyone, let me know how things are, and, I'll see you around tomorrow. And, he looks over at Gilneth and he's like, so, you'll finish up in a few hours? And she smiles and kind of blushes, and he's like, okay, I'll see you then. And he kind of winks at her, gets up from the table, and goes upstairs. And Damus here is like, oh, God, he's such a creep.
My man!
My man!
It's okay, buddy. We all have embarrassing family. I mean, hell, my sister probably was one of the people trying to hunt me down. So,
Yeah. But, I mean, he's the only family I got, so.
Yeah.
And he kind of pauses for a moment, and there's a bit of seriousness to that. Like, there's some thought behind it.
That's okay, buddy. I pat his back.
And he looks around the table at the near empty bottles and stuff. He, like, grabs a bottle, takes, like, the last swig in it, looks over at a mug that someone was drinking. Picks it up, finishes it, looks around, and he's like, oh, we're out. I think that's gonna be it for me.
Okay, buddy. You need help getting up to the room, or you got it?
Oh, I got it. And he stands up and he starts fumbling upstairs.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Cletus is just gonna go to a section of the bar that's...
Okay. If you're gonna push through, I need an endurance check.
I'm not. I'm gonna go to sleep. Or, enter my sleep. I was trying to find a clean space to sit down.
I mean, looking around the area, you don't know if, sitting in the bar in your rest mode is probably the best idea.
Yeah, but I'm drunk.
I'm gonna make a call and say that you're probably sober enough to understand now that that's probably not a good idea.
No. Okay, then I'll go over to Dix. Like, hey, Dix, what room was Rain in?
Second one on the left.
Thank you. Then I head upstairs, knock on this door.
Okay. Raina, you are stuck in bed and you hear a knock on your door.
What?
Can I sleep in here? It's Cletus.
I can't reach the door right now. Can you no.
Okay.
Sorry. Next time.
Go back downstairs. Dix, can I have a room?
Oh, before he walks away, I want Rena to shout, "You put a room on my tab."
Was planning on it.
Oh wow, okay. Please just
You go down to Dick's. He's at the tavern.
Dix, can I have a room on Raina's tab?
We're out.
No. Okay. Then Cletus will go over. We'll go to see if he can get into the shop, the dwarf shop.
Okay. You walk over to the shop and it's currently locked up.
I figured. I'm just gonna stay up then.
You're not staying up.
No?
Roll an endurance check. You're fucking tired and drunk. You need to find a place to rest.
Fuck.
How fast can Rena pull themselves together?
You're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think it's just
You're
Rui in
fine.
the bar currently.
No.
Oh, no, it's just Cletus, yeah.
Please, I mean, you can go up to the guy's room.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, you go up to the guy's room. Do you knock?
Yeah.
I mean, are any of us conscious to answer?
The door opens. It's only been a few moments before Demosaries has come up.
Fair.
Emissaries, can I sleep in here, please?
Yeah, you don't need a lot of space, do you?
No.
Okay. You come in the room. Conrad's passed out on the bed. Sin is
Yep.
like passed out like by his feet. Demosaries has like a blanket sprawled out on the carpet. But there is a space next to the bed that you could probably like crouch down and just, you know, kind of like put your knees to your chest and just enter your rest stage.
That's what I do.
Okay, yeah, it's, you know, you don't have to worry too much about comfortability once you know, just gotta make sure you're not gonna fall over when you do it. So it's pretty easy. And you start entering your rest mode.
Okay.
Okay, as all of you drunk asses begin to fall asleep on the evening, I need to, yeah, just give me a second.
Oh, no. I thought that was someone else for a moment. God damn it.
So Moose, earmuffs, if you would like to. Moose?
I think he earmuffs, so.
Wait, did he earmuff already? Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
okay, I want to make sure. Okay. So Conrad,
Oh, son of a bitch.
what? What are you upset about? You think that every time I call people into my office, like it's something bad? You guys act like you're getting called into the principal's office or something. I'm like, oh fuck, what happened now?
I feel like it's more like the college dean's office. Okay, yeah, yeah, toxic. Anyway, sorry.
I don't know if I should take offense to that. Let me get a drink. Ugh. So Conrad,
Yes.
as you fall asleep, you feel a familiar sensation. As you begin to feel adrift, slipping into another's life, memories, secrets, and truth. You look around in the darkness as you feel yourself being pulled towards something. You see yourself, your entire body. For the first time, you are really in here, your form complete. You look around, you see your hands, you see your body, you see your legs. Usually, when you feel the sensation, it's just your perspective of things. Now you feel like you're whole. And then there's a flash. You see a scene before you. You see an arena. In the center of the arena, a small, frail dragonborn, a child. You look at them. You see they are nearly beat to death, with a large foot pinning their head down to the ground. You hear them crying out. You can't hear the words. The crowd is too loud. His enemy, another dragonborn, who is much larger. But you get the sense they're about the same age. But this dragonborn that stands atop the smaller one is almost the size of a full adult dragonborn that you have. Massive. You look around and you realize something. This is the most in focus this has ever been. You look around and you take in the details. And as you do, the scene slows down, almost stops. What do you do?
What do I do?
Yes.
Um.
You're no longer looking at the scene. You're now in the scene.
Oh wow. Am I like? Do I fully have my equipment and whatnot?
You look around. It seems like it.
Conrad would try to. You said like standing foot on top of like the dragonborn and like the smaller one and the child, right?
You're basically in the arena with them.
Okay. Conrad's gonna take a shot at the what's it called big dragonborn who's standing.
Oh, you pull out your bow and shoot him?
Yeah.
Your arrow, you let loose and it goes right through him.
Conrad just like looks sad and just kind of look at it and like just say I'm sorry.
The scene's frozen in front of you.
The arrow?
No, I'm saying like the scene itself.
Oh, okay. Conrad's gonna try. He's gonna walk towards the scene a bit further, like walk up to towards the individuals.
Okay. You do so.
And he'll try to interact. He'll probably put his hand towards the child.
You do so, and your hand goes right through it. But getting up close, you do notice that this child rings familiar in your.
Can I? Does it look like what's it called the silver dragonborn child or dragon child?
Silver dragonborn child.
I didn't say. Sorry, I meant silver dragon child. The ferret girl.
Oh no, this is dragonborn.
Okay. See, my bad.
Yes. This is an arena filled. There's 2 dragonborns in the entire arena. As you look around now, trying to take it all in.
Yeah.
The entire crowd is mostly dragonborn.
Okay. Interesting.
But now that you're getting close, you said you want to interact. You go to touch the young dragonborn, and your hand goes right through it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you're kind of up close, you do recognize a few things that stand out. A trait that you don't see very often on dragonborns. This dragonborn has a tail and white, thin tendrils coming out the back of its head.
The child or the smaller one?
The child, the smaller one, the one that's pinned down to the ground.
Gotcha. Yeah. Interesting. And Cameron's gonna examine he's gonna try to examine the like the bigger one and the I guess
the larger one looks like a very much larger version of the one that's on it. The scale coloring is a little different. The one on the ground is almost like a mix between blue and green.
Mhm.
The other one is more of a deeper blue. He's much larger, and he has kind of the tendrils out the back of his head as well that kind of mimic the hair look, but his are like a much dark gray, like
Mhm.
almost a black. But you notice that they do seem similar, almost like they may be connected somehow. I mean, these traits are kind of weird. The large one does not have a tail though, and he is much beefier than the small one.
Okay.
And I mean, it's kind of obvious the traits of the one on the ground is pretty rare to see a dragonborn with both a tail and the white. Just looking at this and your understanding of a certain person that you've met recently,
Yeah, sure.
this kind of seems like it might be Jean.
Yeah. And you said we're in an arena. Like Howard's now examining the scene more now.
Yes, you are in a large arena.
Okay.
You do notice as you're looking around, there is like a separate area, sitting area,
Mhm.
apart from the dragonborns, and it's filled with humans.
Yeah. So you said they're separate. Like, do they look like are they in
Sorry.
like high fluted seats or what?
Yeah, it's a lot of the dragonborn are sitting on just like stone bleachers. This one looks like a large carved section in like the view, like in the where everyone else is sitting. And these are not like like just stone seats or anything like that. These are like, it looks like a high VIP viewing section. Like
Yeah.
chairs are elegant. There's guards standing around them. Each person has like space between them. Each one has like an individual chair.
Mhm. Okay. Is there anyone that looks like out of their arena? Like, is there anyone that looks like they're particularly watching, like intent?
Um,
Like out of the
There-
human audience, I would say.
there are two people
Okay.
up there that are mostly looking very
Okay.
standing next to the humans, kind of bowing down a little bit. A very, very large dragon. Even larger than the young one that is currently in the arena.
Mhm.
And you notice, just looking at him, it is a large blue dragonborn with black tendrils out of the back. He does look significantly older than the ones in the arena, but he does show some familiarity between him and the ones in the arena.
Okay. The other one?
The other one is a middle-aged human man, and he is watching this scene with much intent. The other humans seem to be like laughing and cavorting with each other. The scene is frozen, so you see a few. They look like they're kind of smiling and laughing, pointing at their mid-conversation.
Mhm. Okay. Hmm. And let's see what else. Hmm. So Coward's gonna try to see if he can interact with the big one who's to called quote unquote Jacques.
Keep breaking up. Can you drop it and come back in?
Yeah, sure. Hello. Better?
We'll see.
Okay. Carol will try to see if he can interact with the bigger Dragonborn now.
Oh, do you climb out of the arena and go up the stands to the viewing area?
Oh, well, no, I meant like the one who like. So did Kyron interact with all the ones like in the arena where he was at?
Oh, I mean, you can try poking the big one.
Yeah, that's what he was trying to do. Poke the big one.
Your hand goes right through it.
Okay. Now Kyron's gonna try to interact with the one like the Black Tendrils one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You go up to the wall,
Mhm.
and You touch it, and the wall is solid. And you go to climb it, and it's like a good 15, 20, it's like 20 feet above the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a sheer flat surface.
Is there a gate or anything like that?
There are 2 gates in the arena, and they are both closed.
Mm.
And looking at the gates, you do see a few Dragonborns kind of standing right behind the gates, kind of watching what's happening in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be like one older Dragonborn in like an armor that's dressed up, and behind or next to each, on both gates, next to the guards, you see younger Dragonborns kind of like watching what's happening.
Can I do a perception check real quick to see if anyone's actually watching me versus the fight?
Sure.
Just want to see if it's like, just.
You look around and you kind of gauge everyone's eyes, and it seems like everyone is in the scene.
Okay.
Like, you kind of walk by people and no eyes are tracking you.
Mhm.
It's almost like you're not there. So, mind you, everything is kind of frozen right now, so
Yeah.
nothing's kind of moving in general.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything moving?
No, the only thing that's moving is you.
Hmm. I'll just kind of sigh and say, I don't know what to do.
As you finish taking in the scene, you feel the world start to shake.
Mm-hmm.
And, it catches you off guard. The whole world rumbles.
Mm-hmm.
And the world moves forward. And you watch the large dragonborn, like, as the scene begins to, loom forward after the shake. You watch the large dragonborn inhale and lift his leg as he raises his leg and brings his large draconic foot down on the smaller dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you're like kind of crimping, like, oh, I don't really want to watch this, there's another flash, and you see something else.
Oh, I see.
You're in a dark space.
Yeah.
You look around, and immediately in front of you, you see the small dragonborn. It sits in a cage, suspended from the ceiling. It is a solid dark room, and you can barely make out anything too far away from you. But you can see in the very like limits of your vision in this dark room,
Mm-hmm.
you see other cages cloaked in the darkness. You look down at the creature that is currently sitting in the prison in front of you. And, you kind of lean in just out of curiosity, trying to get a good look. And as you kind of focus in on it, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel him. You feel what is going on in this moment. And you feel that just incredible sadness, a longing for death. You feel just a sudden urge to cry, but feeling like there's no more tears left. And it's just so overwhelming, you kind of pull back. And it's too much for you to take. It's nothing like you've ever felt before.
Yeah.
Even in, even in the darkest vision of your own past, if this is beyond that.
Gotcha.
It's just so dark and so past broken. And as you're kind of reeling from that, you kind of look around and everything is kind of motionless. What do you do?
So am I like kind of like quote unquote like am I like looking at the cage?
You just kind of stood back from like focusing in on it, and you're kind of reeled back from that. So you're just kind of standing next to this cage.
Conrad would, if he can, he's gonna try to see if he can kind of reach it to that person.
Oh, into the cage?
Yeah.
Your hand goes right through the cage, right through the person.
And I'll just say, I wish I could help you. Is there anything else that he can see in the scene, like aside from that?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yep.
And you're trying to like peer through the darkness to get a better look. It's hard to say, or it's hard to see a lot, but you do look over in one of the cages. Someone's standing outside of it,
Hmm.
and you kind of look, and you really chime in and focus, and you notice that the person's hand holding in one hand it has a metal rod,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that the tip of this rod is just glowing, this orange. And it seems like this person is mid action of prodding this kind of iron rod into the cage at whatever entity is inside of it
Mm-hmm.
with this glowing hot tip to it.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of looking at that, you look back over at the dragonborn in the cage and you kind of look around its backside and you see a whole bunch of fresh brands and burns and carvings all through its back. And you look around the room to another cage and you see your eyes kind of squint and it appears to be it is a male elf
Mm-hmm.
and in a cage, and outside of it you see a female tiefling and a male human, kind of like a older gentleman, maybe like late 50s 60s, overweight, and he's looking like he's laughing, as he currently has a binding around the neck of the elf in the cage, choking him as it appears to be sodomizing him from outside of the cage.
Okay.
And you look around to another cage and you see a female elf bound to the sides of the cage, arms strewn up, and she is motionless and blood's just pouring from the front side of the face. Her hair is matted and covered in sweat and blood and filth of a beaten, broken body, and she just hangs there lifeless, blood mid drip down her lip, and her body looks broken and beaten and battered. It's quickly realizing that this is some type of torture or something.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like both the people who are using the hot pokers, basically what you're gathering,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them, like there's some symbol or something on it, and it seems like you look at the female elf hanging in the cage, you look at the dragonborn, and you get the sense that there seems to be like a pattern of symbols and stuff.
Do I recognize the symbol?
Go ahead and give me a religious check.
Yep.
You don't recognize it by name or anything like that, but in D&D world you get used to seeing things like, if you see this, it's usually bad. You get the sense by looking at the symbol, you're like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but I know it's something bad. And you're like, I've seen that before and I know it as a dark symbol. It must be some patron or connection to some dark god or something like that. You're not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
But for the simple fact that you do recognize it just as something bad, you get the sense that it's probably some big bad.
Can I try to commit that symbol to memory?
We'll see.
Okay.
You gonna do anything else?
He's just it's like a bit more angry, like if anything, visibly so. Other than that, no.
Okay. You're kind of finished taking in again the scene, and you look around, you look back at the cage of the dragonborn, and you feel that anger.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel kind of like a little helpless in the situation, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But you feel it again, the world shakes, and like it almost seems like the cages and everything are shaking. Like feels like your entire being and wherever you are is like crumbling or ripping apart. As it shakes, you almost topple over, and as you fall over, there's a quick flash, and again you find yourself somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You see the Dragonborn grown up a
Mhm.
bit. He's on his knees. In front of him, a couple of feet, you see a lifeless body in front of him. The body is being cradled by a very familiar person. The scene frozen before you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
Who is? Oh, is it? Who am I seeing exactly?
You look over. You see the Dragonborn,
Mm-hmm.
and you see a very familiar female dwarf.
Female dwarf. Okay. And Karen's gonna look at him like, what's the particular of the scene I'm saying as well? Like, Karen's gonna look around.
You look around, and
Mhm.
there is a heavily armored individual,
Mm-hmm.
male. He's currently being cradled by, you look at it and you're like, yeah, that's Lady Cat. Currently being cradled by Lady Cat, and like a foot or two away from them, you see the Dragonborn just on his knees, arms to his side, just like his world has been shattered.
Mm-hmm.
And to the side, facing away, you see another figure with a hood up,
Mm-hmm.
and they're facing away.
Karen's gonna try to get a look at that figure.
As you go to look, it's nothing but shadow.
Karen's gonna try to see if he can interact with this person as well.
Which person?
The shadow person.
You go to touch them, and your arm goes right through him.
Mm-hmm. Do they have any like symbols, or are they just like completely cloaked? Like, is there anything on them that seems identifiable?
You see a sword to their side,
Mm-hmm.
a dagger to their other side. They are wearing leathers with a cloak over top, and you can't really make out too many details. They have gloves on. They
Gotcha.
seem average humanoid sized build, more lithe than muscular. Average height, maybe about like 5 foot, 10, 11.
So extremely average.
Pretty average, yeah.
Okay. Well, that kind of solves that. How does Cat Mara and so you said like this Dragonborn is being cradled by Lady Cat Mara, right?
Oh no. The Dragonborn is on his knees next to the body that's being cradled.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. It looks like a humanoid male,
Mm-hmm.
heavily armored, and Lady Cat is holding this person, just crying.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think I see it better. All right. What does Carmen's gonna go up to the person like who's I guess being cradled, and he's gonna look at. Do they have wounds?
Yes, they do. There is a puncture wound that goes straight through their chest cavity.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're looking right above it, you see a very familiar platinum symbol.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this symbol before. It's the one Jacques carries, minus 3 claw marks on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also missing a gem in the center.
Okay. Second. Mm-hmm.
But it is the holy platinum symbol of, the Platinum Lord, Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty standard.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. You look around, and you kind of put the pieces together pretty quickly. You've heard enough story to, figure it out. And as you kind of look at this, being able to see it for yourself, you're just like, it doesn't make it any easier.
Mm-hmm.
And just saying, because you've never seen Lady Cat like this. Like
Mhm.
it's rough seeing her like this.
Yeah.
Just Lady Cat not smiling is just not a good thing, and it's just staring at her just makes your heart hurt.
Mhm.
But you look around and you feel it again. The world begins to shake and rumble. You brace yourself, but these tremors are much worse,
Okay.
and you fall down, barely catching yourself on the ground. As everything shakes, the scene in the world around you begins to shatter and fall apart like broken glass.
Mhm.
You are now in a room of darkness. You look around, nothing, just nothing but darkness.
Hmm.
And as you're looking around and trying to get a perception of like what the fuck is going on, you hear a very low, deep growl coming from the shadow.
Okay.
You pause, you try to listen, you try to hone in,
Mhm.
and that's when you realize there's something in the shadow. Something large. You focus in and you hear something.
Mhm.
A clattering of metal. Is that chains? And you feel and hear the shadow shift in front of and around you. You hear the chains move as something very large is moving right at you.
Can I get a sense of scale?
Probably about twice your size easily.
So kind of say if he can, he's gonna try to move away from the
You try
thing.
to like move back, and as you do, you feel the presence moving closer and closer and closer.
Mhm.
And right when you're trying to move back, it's hard to get a sense of everything. It's just utter darkness. And
Yeah.
as you're pulling back, you kind of trip back a little bit and you almost fall over. And then you see it just barely on the tip of the shadow. You
Mhm.
see a massive draconic creature bound in countless chains, pulling taut on them. It's fighting against the chains, reaching out for you. You see a large mangled claw coming from the shadow, chains wrapped around it. You see it reaching out. You look at its face, barely visible in the shadow, wide eyes, blank. You see its fangs poking out from the front of its mouth. It's reaching out in a blind hunger in its face. This
Mhm.
monster, it scares you to your core.
Mhm.
It's much larger than you, and it seems to be the darkness around you.
Mhm.
But it doesn't seem to be able to move any more forward as the chains are. You hear that crinkling of metal as it's pulling taut, but there's no more give.
Mhm.
But it tries to pull towards you, and you feel as it's pulling against the chains, you feel the world shaking around you,
Mhm.
and it almost matches the rumbles you felt since arriving in this wherever you find yourself.
Mhm.
What do you do?
Guy's just gonna try to. He's kind of scared out of his mind, just kind of trying to make the thing go away.
It's just looming over you.
Mhm.
It's hard to grasp its full scale because it kind of melded with the shadow, but you feel like when it shakes and rumbles and pulls against the chain,
Mhm.
you feel the entire existence that you are in shaking from it. And it just makes the scale of it even seem that much more impressive.
Well, what are you?
Nothing as you feel the chains pulling and cranking still.
Mhm.
No word.
No word, and like I can't see it.
You can still see it pulling against the chains.
I mean, like, can I see like a picture wise, like anything like? Because you did say it was kind of in shadow.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're getting like little bits of it.
gotcha.
But definitely draconic. You've seen enough scales to recognize it. And you've
Gotcha.
see its giant, the front of its mouth, and it's just the way its hands look, everything. Anything that you're seeing pop out of the shadow just screams draconic.
Mhm.
But there was something much more monstrous to it.
Conrad's just gonna be sitting there cowering in fear a bit, like if he can't move further back.
I mean, you can move further back or you can move closer. It's whatever you want to do.
So Conrad's gonna try doing one thing real quick. He's gonna try to see if he can get up and like see if like it's tracking him, like kind of like you move to the side and
It's trying to pull the chains directly towards you.
Conrad's gonna move further back then.
Okay. As you begin to pull back, you hear a deep growl come from it.
Mhm.
From the creature as it begins to pull again, the chains pulling tight. It struggles against them. And just like when you're like, okay, I got this, you hear a loud snap as a single chain breaks and falls to the ground. It shifts, and you see the whole form shift to the side as you hear another chain snap, and it lunges a few feet forward, and you see it pulling, and another chain snap, and you feel the presence start to get quicker as you try to pull away, and one chain after another snaps as it slowly comes lurking forward you. Its size, every step of it is able to keep up with you because every time a chain snaps, it's moving quite a few feet forward. So you begin to like sprawl away. It goes to reach out, and another chain snaps. And as you're falling back, its claw scrapes across your chest. You feel that burning sensation. You've been slashed. You've been cut. You feel this, the burning warmth as it scrapes across your chest, and you feel the pain. And as soon as you begin to like feel that pain and you begin to fall down as the beast is cowering over you or snapped out of it, and you find yourself awake in your room, it's pitch dark. You're panting. You sit for a moment trying to gather yourself, and then you immediately feel it. You reach towards your chest and you pull your hand back, and there's blood on your hand. You suffer 5 points of damage as you look down and you see a large claw mark across your chest.
No, wait, one second. I did the opposite. Okay. Okay. How does the wound look like? So it's like obviously it's like hit, but like is it bleeding profusely? Is there like can I do like I guess a medicine check to see if there's any like after effect to it?
I mean, you've been cut before. It's not too different.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. How does the guy just like looking kind of like a little shell shocked? So he's just kind of trying to calm his breath a bit.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yay!
Cletus,
Yes.
you hear Conrad wince out in pain and start panting.
All right.
You
I wake
pop
up and
out
look at him.
Pop out of your rest mode real quick, and you look over. Conrad is sit up in bed, just grabbing his chest and panting and kind of looking at his hand.
You okay, buddy?
No. Howard's just kind of like like he's like looking at the I assume the bloodstained hand, and he's gonna point it at Cletus.
You might need to turn on a light or something for him to see it.
Cletus doesn't have night vision. Come on, I mean, sorry, that was
Yes,
not a
his
good
eyes.
No,
idea.
he doesn't.
Conrad's just like he'll just say I'm bleeding.
Okay. What did you do?
I I had one of my dreams again, and I think I saw Shock's life, and I think whatever it was that's in him is, I guess, hunger. You would call it, this vampire self. It attacked me, and well, it wounded me in real life. I've got this claw mark on me right now.
I'll
For
say-
something to like wrap his hand up.
I mean, I'll say like you guys are easily able to like find a nearby light it, and
Yeah.
show him the wounds and stuff like that.
Basically, it's not his hand. Like his hand's got blood on it, but it's more of like his kind of, as I understand, Damon, like, his a claw mark on his chest.
You turn
Gotcha.
on, you light a nearby candle and you show him, and yeah, he has a large claw mark across his chest. Definitely not human-sized hand. It is massive.
I'll look to Shiak. Does he have blood on his hands?
Jock's not in your guys' room.
Oh, he's not.
No,
Yeah.
he has his own room.
Well, what happened in your dream?
I think I saw the life of Jacques. It's Coward just like looks like he's a little. He kind of like shakes his head, like just like he's trying to collect himself. Like was just full of just undeniable trauma and sadness, but it came to this one point where I was just like in a pitch black area, and just I heard that kind of rattling of a cage or chains. This like large, luminous, just draconic creature just seemed just to be hungering for something, and eventually broke free of its chains and did this to me.
Well, that's pretty fucking weird.
Cletus, I've had these dreams before, but like it was never so. And Conrad's like trying to almost like he's trying to articulate it. He's like, I don't think I've ever seen any of these things so clearly before, and I did never have affected me this physically before. Well, yeah.
I will tell you, Cletus, it's such an obvious mark. There was nothing like that when you saw him come in. You looked at him when he came in the room. There's nothing like this. This is a pretty sizable mark.
Yeah. And I didn't notice anything in my sleep.
You would have noticed this.
Yeah. I'm not, as you know, I'm not very good or magical person. This might, maybe you could talk to one of the Sultan's people about your dreams, and they might be able to help you understand them more.
Hey. Conrad just like looks very he's like definitely shaken. He looks like very disturbed.
It's all right, buddy. We'll figure it out.
Cletus,
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I'm gonna try to go to bed. Do you mind if Conrad just says, if I look like I'm panicking, just in a little bit, do you mind trying to wake me up?
I'll be honest, Conrad, you're not feeling tired right now.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't sure if it was I didn't know the. Okay, never mind. Retcon that. Conrad's just gonna say, I think I'm gonna get up. I don't about to feel like sleeping anymore.
Did I get a full rest cycle day?
At this point, yes.
All right.
You're still kind of drunk.
Yeah. I can stay up with you, buddy. I got all the rest I needed.
Actually, that also, I'm wondering about that as well. So did I get a rest and then minus the XP, or was it like minus XP and I didn't get a rest?
Oh, in regards to you got your rest. You got your rest minus 5 HP.
Gotcha. Okay, because I still have my leftover XP from the fight.
Yeah, no, you went up to full minus 5.
Gotcha.
It's what, about 5 in the morning, probably?
At this point, it's probably around like 5, 6, 7. You went a little bit past your normal rest cycle just because you were a little drunk.
Yeah. You want to go out in the town and just take a walk around, enjoy the morning air? Might help.
Sure. And Conrad's gonna he's gonna get his stuff and, get ready for the day.
Okay. I'm
Please
gonna pause on that. Nat. You find yourself stirring away.
How is she feeling?
Rested. Pretty good.
like, does she like feel any of that stuff that happened? Like, does she feel gross? Like, anything?
You're a little disgusted as you think about, like, the situation, but just like how you're feeling, after that charm came down and you no longer felt that connection to Lowire the same way, you're just kind of over. Yeah, it's gross, it's disgusting.
Any sign about what time it is, or she doesn't know how long she's been sleeping?
You have no clue. But as you look around, you do see an arm draped over the bed, and you feel it draped over your leg.
Who is it?
It's dark.
Nat will light up the room a bit, wherever that is.
You do so. With your at-will fire things, I'll just say you spark up a flame real quick. You find a nearby candle, you ignite it with your abilities, and you can see now. You see a passed out, snoring Ruria just kind of like laid against the bed.
Can Nat try to get Ruria on the bed?
Sure, give me a strength check.
Okay.
Okay, you're able to do so. She's relatively light, and you don't, bump around too much. And you gotta move her, and she's like, like just muttering in her sleep. And through the mutter, you just straight booze to your face.
A familiar smell. Familiar smell.
Yeah. But you drape her in bed, and she kind of goes a little bit, and just kind of curls up and just lays.
And Nat gives Ruria a pat or two, and then she, steps outside.
Okay. As you're going to step outside, you hear the door in front of you opening.
Okay, so I can open the door, but I also see the door in front of me opening?
Yeah, as you're opening it, you hear the door in front of you opening.
Okay. Nat waits to see who it is.
It is Conrad.
So I assume I see Nat at this point?
Yes, as you and Cletus go to step out, you see Nat exiting her.
Kara's just look very shocked, Nat.
Hey.
You look at Conrad, there's a straight, just claw mark across his chest.
What happened to you?
Just stuff. Well, I thought you were kind of flabbergasted that, yeah, she's no, he's are you okay?
She seems concerned about your claw mark. I can say the same about you. Yeah, she actually is looking at it
Mm-hmm. Nat, you're awake.
Is that Cletus behind you?
Yes, it is. Sakara's gonna move to the sides of Cletus and come over.
Hey, Cletus.
Please give Nat a hug.
Nat hugs him back. Hey.
Are you okay?
I've been better.
As his head goes past your head towards your shoulder for the hug, straight booze.
Did you guys party and not invite me? That's giving Cletus a look.
You think that we would go party and not get you anything? I'd pour out the bottle of fine wine.
Ooh. That's sort of surprised to see that. Well, aren't you so kind? I'll take the bottle if he gives it to her.
Yeah, give it to her.
Out of character. That I paid for!
That you didn't pay for out of character.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, the uncle did.
So, that's why I said out of character.
Yeah, does Conrad still have that wound on his chest there?
Yeah.
No, really, Conrad, are you okay?
Don't worry about him.
It's fine. It's something we talk about later.
Where are you?
Would you like to join us, Nat? We're going for a walk.
Yeah, and I suppose a walk would be nice. She's holding this bottle of wine.
Conrad's gonna kind of. I'll be right back, and he's gonna leave is there anything to write with in the room or the guy's room?
I'll be nice and just say of someone who has something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep on forgetting something. Yeah, Conrad just.
It has paper and shit.
Yeah. But Conrad will just put like a little note, then just say hey, we're going out for a walk.
Okay.
Nat, Cletus, and Conrad.
No worries.
All right, and Conrad's gonna go back to the group. All right. Do you want to get going?
Yep, let's go.
Not nuts.
We can.
Anywhere in particular, she says?
Nope, just to enjoy the morning air.
Okay. Well, you guys go down into the tavern. And it is pretty quieted down at this point. A lot of drunk, passed out people.
Mm-hmm.
You guys meander through the tavern and you guys exit, and it is pretty chilly as you guys step out of Dick's.
I'm glad you finally woke up, Nat. It's been a week.
Is he really gonna not roll anything for that?
I mean, do you doubt him?
Yes.
Bluff versus insight.
Dang it.
It's hard to say, Nat. Like, you feel rested. It almost feels like it could have been a week. And, his stony new body, it's just so hard to read.
And that's like, what?
I'm kidding.
Oh, Cletus. Come on. Don't scare me like that.
Hey, if I don't start messing with you, things will never get back to normal. This is just gonna start heading this way.
Yeah, guys. Like he's actually kind of walking, but he's like he looks very sad. It's kind of like that feeling of you're trying not to look sad, but you are. Yeah.
Oh, you guys see Conrad looking this way.
Yep.
Very somber.
Yeah, very somber. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah. Just enjoy the air, Conrad. Don't have a care in the world.
That's like, really though, what happened?
Like I said, just enjoy the morning air.
That looks like Conrad, like...
We'll talk about what happened later, Nat. Just for now, I want you just to relax.
There's no context to this, just a claw mark on Conrad's chest. Cletus saying not to worry about it.
Nat, part of you's starting to worry a little bit.
Nat's worried. Nat's worried. No insight sheet needed. Nat's worried.
Come on. Don't worry, be happy now.
This is a lot to unpack in after I just woke up. How's the bottle of wine, by the way? Is it a good bottle?
That's a good bottle. I mean, maybe. I don't know. He said so.
Question. Sorry, 1990 rosé.
Questions for later. But Nat just humors Cletus for now. Just walks.
You guys do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you guys trying to go? Just looping around the... What are you doing?
We'll just take a lap around the bazaar.
Okay.
Not in it, just around.
Okay. You guys spend like the next 45 minutes or so going around the bazaar. You know, a lot of traffic is, you know, it's early morning, like there's barely any light out. It's very chilly. A lot of people on the road are kind of bundled up and multiple layers of robes and things like that. And you're just seeing, you know, like some people picking up trash and stuff around the city, some guards walking around, and some people who seem to be getting ready to set up shop in the bazaar for the day. See a few caravans and carriages bringing, you know, carts, stalls, and products in. But you guys make your loop and eventually find your guys back at Dick's in an awkward, quiet.
Yeah.
Was the bakery open when we passed?
No.
Bakeries, they're open early sometimes.
Yeah, this is a little early.
Yeah. Connor's just gonna enter Dick's. And he's like, do you wanna come to our room, Nat, or
If you want to talk about it there, sure.
okay. Alright, he'll kind of lead the way towards their room.
Okay.
Are the others awake at this point, or are they still passed the fuck out?
You go up to the room, and Demisarius and Sin are currently passed out.
Okay, maybe it's probably best to just let them sleep it off. Alright, closes the door. Guys, alright, how about, just, you know, go downstairs.
That nuts.
Okay. You guys head downstairs, find a table.
And it looks like everyone's passed out.
Yeah.
And I was gonna sit down and like, so Nat, there was some news that we found out about it looks like he's really trying to struggle to say it. Loire.
It's hard news, but
Is this why you got me the drink?
no, I got you the drink because you like booze.
Ah, he's right.
But Nat,
It will
Yes.
give you the answers you want, but not the answers the answers you need, but not the answers you want.
this is not going to be tough. This is not going to be good news. I'm just to let you know that right now.
Can Nat open the bottle and try some of this wine?
Sure.
Nat drink some of it.
It's pretty good.
That's actually pretty good. But, she takes a deep breath and she says, okay.
So you remember how he was kind of doing these tricks on your mind and just kind of, making things seem as if they were different from what they are?
You mean the puppies, rainbows, and the
Yes,
spa bath?
those, yeah.
Yeah.
The fake puppies, rainbows, and fake spa baths, yes. Zing on the GM. Anyway. I just had to say that. Anyway.
I'm only trying to give exactly what my players asked for. Anything.
Anyway, sorry, I gotta get back to Stoic 1 second. So, we kind of figured out the full extent of his power, and that there's no easy way to say this, but your children, they were never your children. They were imps disguised as your children.
What?
You've never had children. It was all a hallucination by him.
I raised them like they were my own.
We know.
Yeah.
That kind of hits that pretty hard. Like, she's like looking out at the table. Like,
I was gonna kind of like scoot his chair over to Nat and was like, just kind of pat her on the back, like, I know this is probably something you 100% did not want to hear, but it's something you needed to know.
Good news with that is that your children aren't in danger, and you never had sex with that horrible creature.
That's
not.
You can tell her whatever you want. Never mind.
That's not.
Just him.
Nat just has a disgusted look on her face, like, oh. Oh god.
But that's not all we found out.
What else?
The Wire's been dead for about a decade now. That creature killed him in one of the fields by your home.
She heard that.
Out of character, I think I was there for that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know what you know.
Well, Cleus explains that. Yeah, and that's like, yeah. He said he killed him as a child.
Alright, now the really hard one.
We don't know the status of your other family, but the guy said that there's a chance that at this point the imps probably got bored and killed everyone who was in
Massacred your
there.
entire village.
Yeah, Nat looks at them and says, takes a deep breath and says, if they were really imps, like you say, I'm sure Lele probably wouldn't hesitate to smush them, because let's just say that dealing with those kind of creatures was her thing. And she's like rubbing her face, like trying to take this all in.
Conrad, if Nat will allow him, we'll just kind of take her into. He'll try and embrace her.
That doesn't stop him.
And as you embrace for this hug, you hear a light pattering of footsteps coming down the stairs. As you hear very familiar gnome begins to come down the stairs. Oh god, she's awake.
And that's like, it felt so real.
I know, Nat. I know. Group hug.
Yeah, Conrad's just kind of stroking her back, just kind of, trying to comfort her.
And
This is like picking you both up in a big hug.
And when Nat says, when it felt so real, she's like she's rubbing her like stomach area. She's like pretty down about all this.
And as Sin watches you guys embrace for a hug, hearing that talk, you hear a sigh come from the steps from the gnome as he goes, oh, at least she's not completely broken. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay! Yeah. Let's go ahead and end the stream, Moose.